bad guy, as far as we know.
Who said he was a bad guy?
I don't know, but I feel like we're painting him in this light that he was like this bad guy, and I don't want to do that. To this day, I hope you hear this. Fuck you. But rules are rules, okay? Stupid rule, but it was a rule. If you were a Crip and you were cooling in the cut, what do the Bloods do? Are they booling in the butt? Yep. Also, we are extremely juvenile, and yeah, whatever. Fuck you. All right.
You fucking smacked me in the ass, you dumb fuck.
Oh yeah. A lot of ass smacking going on tonight.
That ass smacking guy is a legend.
He has no idea either. It's great. No, it's so funny. Like you can play these clips of people, and it's like if he heard that, he'd probably be so proud of it. He'd be like, "Wow, you're using me."
He wouldn't even know that was him.
No.
Play anything out of context.
Yeah, with no context, it's tough. It's tough to pick up. But
you're like, maybe that sounds like me, but you would never be like, "That's me."
I would know it was me, but that's only because I listen to our show every week.
Well, I hear my voice, but you know what? Sometimes I hear other people talking. I'm like, that sounds like me, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, I can't like differentiate completely.
Because you don't listen to our show enough.
No, fuck that.
You never go back and listen to it. Never.
No, it's very rare now. I live it. I go back and I have a better memory live than you do listening to it.
That's not true. Joey Fats Radio, row one, seat one. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. It is another beautiful Tuesday evening. We are live right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide. Pleasure to be with all of you. If you are all politicked out and you are looking for an escape, you've come to the right place. We will do no politics tonight. We know the debate is going on right now in about, 10 minutes. The VP debate starts up. So we're not going to talk about that, though, because we've got way too much to get into tonight.
Will the VP debate be more on topic than the presidential debate? That's the only question I'll have. I'm going to assume yes.
I'm going to assume... All right, I'll say that this is the first and only thing I'm going to say about the debate, and I'm going to put it out there as a prediction. I think J.D. Vance is going to dunk on Tim Walz the way everybody wanted Trump to dunk on Kamala.
Okay.
I think this is going to be like kind of the beginning of the end, if you will, for that ticket. Or not the beginning of the end. I think this might be the final nail in the coffin, I should say. I mean, there's plenty of other things that should have been the final nail in the coffin, whether it's the, 13,000 murderers or the, 12,000 rapists that got, let in over the border in the last 4 years, or the inflation, or the war that's breaking out in the Middle East, or the war in Ukraine, or the war that's about to break out in Asia.
Bro, I mean, the last 24 hours, we've seen two massive life changes. We've seen essentially maybe the start of World War III with Iran attacking Israel, and that was like 6 hours ago.
Yep.
And then we also saw all the ports, basically from Maine all the way through Texas, being like, we're done.
Yep.
And I'm like, the fuck you mean you're done? It's the holidays.
Yeah. Buckle up, buckaroos.
Did you hear what the average port worker makes? I heard this, and I was like, you know what? You better get your ass back out there. $150,000 is the average.
Damn, really? I got to look into working in ports.
I said the same shit. Because I had to double check it. I was like, am I being like Snoped right now?
I assume it's tough work.
Dude, of course it's tough work.
I mean, I'm assuming they're compensated properly, and they're not striking because they feel like they are compensated properly.
The president, this is on a real thing, the president of the union leader made $900,000 last year. The average port worker makes $147,000 and an additional $35,000 in annual medical benefits.
It's pretty up there.
That is phenomenal. And he says they're looking for a 50% pay raise.
Cost of living adjustment, man.
Bro, $215,000? You're like, my guys need at least $200,000 to work this job. The guy right behind the union leader looks like he hasn't brushed his teeth in 6 months.
Well, don't look at the union people. The union leaders, those guys are just paid shitbags for the most part. Well, actually, this union sounds like they're doing the right thing, but yeah, I don't know. I've looked into nothing about this strike. I have no idea. That's the first and only.
I didn't know it was coming. All of a sudden,
I knew it was possible. I knew it was like looming.
People always say that shit.
I haven't looked into like the details or what it's about or anything like that. But
if they legit make $150,000 a year and they're going on strike, I'm gonna be like, I kind of got a problem with this one.
I don't, because I'll never tell somebody that they shouldn't go on strike and get more money.
No. Yes, but
Because if they're going on strike because
when
they
it
want more
affects
money, that
everybody else.
exactly gives them the leverage. Because think about how much money those shipping companies are going to lose if they don't pay them.
The average American economy expert says that every day they're on strike, the American economy will lose $3 to $5 billion.
Yep.
Per day.
So, do you want to give us a 50% cost of living adjustment, or do you want to lose $3 to $5 billion?
You know what? I'm going on strike tomorrow.
Yeah.
I want an 89% raise. Don't ask where I came up with the number.
Just pulling random numbers.
That's right.
Speaking of numbers, 774-992-8702 is the phone number if you want to give us a call. We're going to get into the NFL Week 4. We've got a lot to talk about. My Broncos went into the Meadowlands and absolutely dunked on Aaron Rodgers again. It was glorious. We're going to talk Broncos tonight. We're going to get into the 4-0 Vikings. We're going to get into Sean's Patriots, a little bit of Gerard Mayo talk.
Unfortunately.
We'll get into a little bit of the MLB playoffs. My Stros took a rough loss today in Game 1 of a 3-game series, which I fucking hate, but whatever. We'll get into that. We'll do a little bit of WNBA. I know we haven't touched on that in a while, but
For good reason.
Yeah, for good reason. But
The topic is why we don't touch on it, and it just makes us double down why we don't touch on it.
Precisely. So we'll get into all of that, plus your calls, whatever you want to talk about. You've got the number.
The first call out.
Feel
So I
free.
want to talk about this debate.
Yeah.
Joey's like, all right.
Well, I guess we're doing that. Well, we can't talk about the debate because it hasn't happened yet.
I
So
know, I'm joking.
we could do that, but we'll save that for a different night. When it's a slower sports day, we'll save that. Let's kick it off, Sean. Let's dive right into Week 4.
Okay.
Where do we even start here?
Let's look at what was last Thursday's game already? I feel like that's so long ago.
Last Thursday was a
Cowboys?
Yeah, was it Cowboys Giants?
Was it? I can't remember anymore. It's so bad. I'm gonna go back and look at it right now. Hold on one second.
I got it.
I'm gonna use it as a refresher as
Yeah,
well.
Cowboys Giants. Cowboys won 20-15. That's right. The Danny Dimes special. I got that game right in the Pick'em League, by the way. Yes.
Hold on. There we
I'm
go,
holding.
2015. That game, nothing to write home about. I don't remember anything great from that game. To be honest
Dallas
with you.
won, and they got to 2-2. That's about.
Yeah, but they should have beat the shit out of the Giants, and they didn't.
You know what though? The Giants are sneaky decent this year. Defensively, they're pretty good. They've been okay.
They have a lot of talent on defense.
They do.
That.
So they're not like this awful fucking. They're not as awful as I thought they were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Dimes at times he reverts back to the Danny Dimes that were like, oh, there's the Danny Dimes that I know and love. And then other times he's making throws. Now, if the Giants could figure out their red zone offense, they moved the ball between the 20s kind of at will last week. If you watch that game, they were up and down the field like, oh, no problem.
Right.
And you love to see it if you're a Giants fan, except when you come away with fucking 5 field goals and that's all you got. I mean, I'm sure, even though I didn't need it, I'm sure my fantasy team wishes it had the Giants kicker on it. But alas, 'twas not to be. But I did get my first win in fantasy this week against you.
Yeah, I can't win anything this year.
I don't know what to fucking do. I have such a logjam at running back between Kyron Williams, Mason, Etienne, and Henry. And every week I have to sit one. And so far the last 2 weeks I've picked the wrong one to sit. This week I sat Derrick Henry, of course.
I know he went on a machine pace. Yeah. I don't know. I can't do anything right in our league either. I'm 0-4, and I'm like, wow, it's over.
Yeah, we were both staring down 0-4 down the barrel, but luckily I pulled it out. And I'm like, so you're saying there's a chance?
No, I need a lot of shit.
But enough about fantasy. Again, remember, folks, nobody cares about your fantasy team.
It's very true.
Every time you end up talking about fantasy, it's just like, bro, check this out. How fucking awesome was my team? And then I picked up this guy, and I fucking dunked on this dude. And they're like, and then I won like 93-82, and I'm like, is that good? I don't know. I don't know what your scoring
your
is.
league stats sound
Yeah,
shit.
like my league, like 230 points is a good week, great week.
Yeah.
170, 180 is like normal or good. 150 is good, Anything above that is like, okay, we had a good week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no one cares about your fantasy team, bro.
I like
Just stop.
I like how the guy in our league that I was like, this is bullshit. We shouldn't do 3 keepers. All of his best players are injured.
Oh, Shadis? Yeah. We can name him. We can say it because Shadis doesn't care.
That's not. Yeah, no, he does. He doesn't care. But I was like,
But for those that don't know who Shadis is the single biggest shit talker in the history of anything. I mean, more so than me. I think because he just talks reckless a bit, like shit with reckless abandon. Like there's no rhyme or reason to his shit talk. My shit talk is calculated. You know, like I'm like the Larry Bird of shit talking. He's like, who's a shit talker? He's like a Keyshawn Johnson, where he just talks for the sake of hearing himself talk.
all
like,
right, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's not even good. You're just yapping, and you're like, are you gonna shut up at any point? Because like no one's listening to you. You know, it's like
the entire team is cursed.
it's how he's trying to stay relevant. I mean, like,
yeah.
you know, he's like trying to keep himself in the limelight. Like, yeah, man, shut up. And you know, yeah, the Pat Bev. Thank you, Duff. That's a great way to put it. The Pat Beverly of shit talking.
Take someone's cell phone, points at it.
Yeah, like you're not good. You're just dying to be relevant, and this is all you got is the shit talking. But so yeah. Anyway, fantasy's one thing, but no, the Giants and the Cowboys game was trashed. The Week 1 games actually weren't terrible though. Week 4 games, the 1 o'clock games weren't terrible.
No, the 1 o'clock games were pretty good. If you were able to see it, depending on if you steal streaming or whatever you do, the Falcons Saints game was great. Ended excellent.
And again, just another notch in my Derek Carr is a fraud belt. I
wasn't even going down that path.
I'm so fucking over Derek Carr. Like I got over him last year. You know, I had defended him while he was in Oakland for years, and I was like, listen, it's not his fault. This kid can throw. He's a fucking gamer. He's just in a bad spot.
Yep.
Well, he's not in a bad spot anymore, and he's still doing the same shit that he did in Oakland, which is you put up a bunch of points and still lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm over it. I'm over Derek Carr. I'm over defending him. I'm just not doing it anymore. The dude is just another middle of the road, good, like, you know, he's a quality NFL starter, but he's not a guy you're going to win anything with.
Right.
You know, he reminds me a lot of Kirk Cousins. You know, stats for days, bro. Like, you know, we had stats comparing, you know, Derek Carr in his first 5 years to Dan Marino. And like, oh, the only guy to throw this many touchdowns and do this and this many yards and whatever. All that shit's out the window, bro.
Yeah, it never felt like that, though.
It didn't. It's like, oh, he's this good. And we're like, yeah, is he, though? Because, like, I'm watching him. And the thing with Carr is, like, he always passed the eye test. When you watched him play, you're like, okay, yeah, dude can throw. He throws an accurate ball. He's got good pocket awareness. He moves around when he needs to. He gets the ball out quick. Like, he doesn't really make... And then you'd see him, and he would throw like an absolute dork of a pass, and you're just like, oh, well, that was stupid. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it was always in the last 90 seconds of the game. Joey Fats Radio, roll one, seat one.
What's up, bro?
Duffy.
Wow.
Been a while, bud.
I haven't heard Duffy in a long time.
You know how you know the Vikings are doing good?
Oh yeah, he's the Vikings guy.
If Duffy is calling in.
First of all, you told me 508 on Messenger, so I just called twice. I didn't get shit because it's 774.
You called some other random dude who's like, who the fuck is
yeah,
that?
the old area code was...
No, it actually doesn't exist, so if you wanted to get that one, you can get that one too.
No, we're good. I wanted to get 281-330-8004, but they wouldn't let me.
That's funny. You know what you would want to get, Joey, is Sam Darnold.
You know, hey, Sean is my witness.
He actually did say that.
I was saying if we weren't taking a quarterback in the draft, I wanted Sam Darnold in the Broncos quarterback room.
I never saw that coming. I don't think even Sam Darnold saw that coming, to be honest with you, because it has worked out amazingly.
Yeah, I didn't see it to this level, but I did throw around the Baker Mayfield scenario a couple of times. So this is basically just playing out to that, but with better coaching.
No, he's outdoing what Baker Mayfield did.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what happens to these guys when they get away from shit tier franchises. Mm-hmm. You know, when you go somewhere with a good GM and a good head coach and good owners, it's like, oh, all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, Sam Darnold's not a complete fucking bum? Ah, son of a bitch. Who knew?
Geno Smith, not a complete fucking bum.
Right, no shit. Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. I mean, who's next? You know,
Zach Wilson, maybe?
Zach. Let's hope not. Let's hope we don't have to see that.
You should hope so.
No, I don't want to see that story unfold. I'm fine with my boy Bo staying under center.
The guy who won with like 60 yards passing and a touchdown.
Dub's a dub, baby.
Fair enough.
Dub's a dub.
Hey, dude.
Hey, you know what? He threw one more touchdown than Aaron fucking Rodgers did. So.
Hey, Mac Jones beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. 3 pass attempts, 3 completions, 19 yards, and the win.
That's true.
That's amazing.
I was in Miami for that game. I remember that.
The blizzard?
No, it wasn't a blizzard. It was just windy.
Blizzard. No, I thought it was a blizzard.
It was
too.
the lake effect. They had the lake effect snow the day before.
Yes.
And then the wind was just whipping
Pushing
off the
snow.
lake.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember Bills was like, we're just gonna run it every single play, and
I watched that at the Clevelander in Miami.
that was unbelievable.
It's a good time.
But yeah, no.
The funniest thing to me about Darnold was that I had so many people messaging me in the preseason telling me that, J.J. McCarthy had one good half against the Vegas Raiders, so he should start all season. And it's like, no, he shouldn't. And now that I feel like none of this happens if he doesn't get injured because
Right.
The first interception Darnold throws, it's all right, start McCarthy in week 2, or it's whatever. And then you've got that over your. He's got no one's scared of Nick Mullins.
Nor should they be. I mean, unless you want 5 interceptions in a quarter.
He's trust me, I went to Ohio to watch that game last year just so I could get drunk and watch the absolute worst interception I've ever seen in the history of football.
It's fucking amazing.
You know.
No, I listen. We crack jokes about the Vikings having arguably the worst quarterback room in the league preseason, and JJ obviously being a rookie, not his fault. Sam Darnold, a reclamation project. Nick Mullins, hot garbage. And we're like, but now you look at it, and even though I was a big Darnold fan, and I still am, because I saw, again, we were talking about guys that passed the eye test. Darnold always passed the eye test to me. And all people got hung up on, especially around here, was, oh, he's seeing ghosts. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm like, it's a turn of phrase, bro. I'm like, that's called he's not recognizing the defense. The Patriots always. What did the Patriots always do? How did they always run their defense? They always disguise their coverages better than anybody. And he was seeing things that weren't there. It wasn't like, but everybody took that as like, oh, he has no idea what he's doing. He's cocked. And I'm like, no, man, he just plays for the Jets.
That's
the Jets
exactly what I was going to say. I think it wasn't as much an indictment on him as a person as it was on he plays for the Jets. Of course he says something like this because that franchise is fucking like in turmoil
horrendous
all the time.
Oh, for sure. Did you see the touchdown to Jefferson though? That ball hit him in the chest and then the arms.
Like
I mean, I don't know what was more important. I don't know what was more impressive, the throw or the catch.
Throws in 4 weeks that I've never seen Kirk Cousins make in my life, and I goes, oh, that's the difference.
No, I mean
between a 4th round pick and a 3rd overall pick.
You didn't see this Sam Darnold. Like I got to watch some of the Vikings game, like I think like a quarter and a half because I usually don't get to watch any of it, and I got to see like a quarter and a half, and I was like, man, I don't think I've seen Darnold make throws like this since college. And like when he was in the Jets, I saw tons of Jets games and he was shit. He couldn't make short passes.
He to Josh Oliver like in the red zone in one of those touchdowns, and I'm like, what the? I'm like, you got to be shitting me. And this is all without Hawkinson.
Yes, all without Hawkinson, their star tight end.
Big Teej.
And the biggest thing that shocks me is that everything's on a rope. Like you would see him throw in New Grossman, and there'd be wobbly balls, there'd be duck balls, there'd be hospital balls. And almost in Minnesota, he's just like he almost has like that Rex Grossman like mentality. He's like, fuck it, Bernard Berrien's down there somewhere, and he's just launching it to Justin Jefferson.
Right? And it's funny because the ghost is a pretty good transition to why I think they were actually winning, which is Flores.
Like, Brian Flores?
This shit is incredible.
Dude, Brian Flores should have never lost his job as the head coach of Miami. And I told my Miami friends this, and they now, as of last night, are on board with me like you were right. Because Brian Flores is one of the most brilliant defensive people in the league.
It is incredible watching like the shit that he does, like at the line and stuff.
And you know what I like about B-Flow? You know what I like most about B-Flow? He's high character.
And then to have him with KOC is like, I mean, it's even better to have O'Connell doing the offense. And it's like, I've never had good coaches.
My off season, I like.
I've never had
we haven't had coaching like this in Minnesota since Denny Green.
Yeah,
I've had Brad Childress and Leslie Frazier and
oh my God, the Brad Childress era.
I will say I wanted Vrabel and Flores back on this team and the coaching staff this offseason, and I didn't get either. And instead I got Mayo, and I like Covington, but I think Covington's too blitz happy, to be honest with you, for myself and the Patriots. But Flores, and I was like, wow, he's gonna kill it. And actually the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted Flores to stay, but they really didn't have a spot for him, so they offered him like assistant coach, and he was like, I fucking did that already. Like assistant coach is like a made up position, and now they're like
the best defensive coordinator in football.
By him going to Minnesota.
I don't know if Vance Joseph would like a word, sir.
We lead in sacks, in pressures, in tackles for loss, tied with Green Bay for interceptions. We lead deflections. We lead everything.
Well,
I think we're like a close number 2 to you in all those categories.
I think
yeah, probably.
I think him going to Minnesota gives him a chance of possibly being a head coach again. Like honestly, I think the whole Miami thing about him outing the team and being like, yo, they're telling me to fucking lose games on purpose, and I said no, and I was fired, and then they were just like, we didn't say that. And then he's like, "This is fucking bullshit." And then remember he tried suing the league, and then Bill Belichick accidentally texted the wrong guy, and he was like, "Hey, this guy got the job in New York," and he's like, "Thanks, Bill." He's like, "Whoops." Bill only puts the first name in the guy in his phone, no last names.
Oh right, exactly.
Because he was going for the Giants job.
We finally got a kicker. The kid hasn't missed yet from Bama.
Oh, who's the kicker?
I say that I knock on wood, obviously, because it's not playoffs yet.
Who's the kicker? I can't think of his name.
Reichard. Will
Reichard was drafted? I thought he was still in college.
Nah, he got taken 4th round.
I didn't even know he was fucking draft eligible. Shame on me. Okay.
He hasn't missed yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Just don't mention that in the NFC title game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please, Pat Summerall, don't say it out loud.
Which is funny because it's like, I mean, I don't even know what I want. I see that the Cardinals want to trade Budda Baker, and I'm like, that might be nice. But then this whole Devontae Adams thing today, and I'm like, man, if there was ever a time to just go for everything and go for broke, just give them a second, and that's all they want.
Can you imagine JJ? I mean, JJ and Devontae on the same field is
and then
that's
you
a
put
fucking
Addison
nightmare.
You put Addison in the slot, it's over. Like
yeah.
Aaron Jones, I never thought I would love a Packer. Or former Packer, or whatever, all the time except for this year Packer.
Oh yeah, well, Aaron Jones, I think, was shown the door too early in Green Bay, for one reason or another, and he went to Minnesota specifically to kind of stick it to Green Bay intentionally.
Yeah,
so those guys that go there and they have an axe to grind, they're like, I'm gonna fucking like. I love those guys and contract year guys. Like I keep joking about this with Joey. Kyle Pitts is dog shit. I said, I guarantee you Kyle Pitts is great next year on his contract year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like Jones is a type of older character guy that might stick around after the 1 year because he likes the environment and the people. Whereas if it was maybe like 5 years ago, he would just go to like fucking Jackson.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
But Duffy, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones is going to be either 30 or 31 next year. That's like
what I mean. So if
that's like 55 in dog years.
Right, so is he really going to want to relocate at this point of his career? Probably not.
Right, but dude, I don't know if you've looked at our schedule because you seen that clip of what's his fucking face, the ball Eisen, right, Rich Eisen?
Yep.
He got the show, and we have our super fan is what's his face, Nick Swartzen.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that clip of him doing the fucking schedule with him.
No.
Negative.
And Swartzen basically said win to everything. He basically said 15-2, and like it was just like Eisen and his dude in the background like losing their shit laughing the whole time.
I mean, I can imagine, but let me
run through the schedule.
Yeah, go ahead.
And Sean, and please tell me what you think because we're 4-0 now. Home to the Jets.
Maybe.
I'm gonna say win.
I'm gonna say maybe because Aaron Rodgers is very familiar with the Jets.
You mean
very
the
familiar with the Vikings.
As the Niners or the Texans or the Packers?
No.
That's what I mean.
Nope.
And we're at home.
I like the Vikes in that one.
I'm 50-50.
So then we have the bye, and then we have home to Detroit.
I'll take Detroit.
I get that.
I think they'll beat Detroit at home. I think they'll split.
I think we're splitting. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I think they'll split.
So you're on my page.
Yeah.
So even if we take that, that's 6. So now we're at the Rams.
Win.
Which is actually one of the 2 losses I have.
I would say the Rams could be tough because the Rams are still.
Yeah.
If they're healthy and they're rolling, that's a tough team.
Dude, they have a ton of injuries already on defense.
But then home to Indianapolis.
Win.
They have no quarterback again.
At Jacksonville.
Win.
At Tennessee.
Win.
Win.
At Chicago.
Win.
Home to Arizona.
I'll give
it should
that
be
a win.
Home to Atlanta.
Win. What time's the game? What time is that game?
1.
Yeah, it's Kirko's homecoming.
Oh,
but yeah,
it's 1 o'clock. That might be a tough game. I might go Falcons in that one.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, Kirko.
1 o'clock, Kirk. That's tougher, but I'll still say win.
I'll say loss on
Home
that
to
one.
Chicago.
Win.
Win.
So then we got at Seattle.
Win.
That I think could be a sneaky tough game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seattle
and
at
then
home,
and
if
then-
they're healthy, is like one of those like fuck, like no one wants to play Seattle in Seattle,
and then
even
we
now.
close out with home to Green Bay and at Detroit.
So you split with the Pat. I split with the. I think you'll. I think
I have 4 losses.
you'll split with the Lions. I think you'll sweep the
Even
pack.
if you have 4 losses, it's fucking way better than I thought it was gonna be coming in.
Yeah, and there's definitely one more loss in there that I'm
Yeah,
not
for sure.
that like you know what I mean, like an upset loss. Like I think
Yeah,
they'll lose.
I think like
So you've got
Sure.
one. You got a lot. I'm going 1 loss against Detroit. 1 loss. I'll say Seattle, and then there's probably 1, maybe 2 more in there that you're not expecting. But
yeah,
it could
like
be.
Arizona, maybe.
But it could be like it could be you know
Maybe.
like it could be like they lose to Detroit, you know, or at home, and then they go on the road to Detroit and week 18 and they have nothing to play for and they lose that one too. But it's only because they were like they got it sewed up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So correct me if I'm wrong, because you know more about this than me. But is this schedule based off of how poorly we did last year?
The schedules
only
are
based on the 2 teams that you play out of like so you play your 2 divisions that you would normally play. So it
play the
sounds like
ranked
So that's
teams.
why we get at Tennessee and at
yeah, you've got
Jacksonville.
the AFC South and I believe the NFC West. It sounds like.
Yeah. 'Cause,
So,
I
and
was just
then-
saying, those injuries last year might have been a blessing in disguise because it got us this easy ass schedule.
And then, well, then the rando teams that you had were what? Indianapolis, and you should have one more random team that I missed in there. You probably already played them. Who'd you already play? The Niners. The Texans.
Jets. No, it's the Jets.
The
this
Jets.
week.
There it is. Yeah, the Jets.
In London.
Oh, that's right. That's a fucking London game too.
I hate
Our
those
home
games.
Game, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Another reason. Oh yeah, it isn't. Oh yeah, it isn't Rogers at home. It's Rogers in London. Yeah, I don't know how that. I don't think old man Rogers is traveling well to London.
I don't know. Is he going to be doing the Russell Wilson high knees on the plane?
Dude, he's taking his own plane. Who are you kidding me?
That's the funniest shit.
I don't know, man. I listen. I like the Jets. They got a defense. Defense travels, but just watching the way that they play, like that, the way they're playing right now, like they just seem, again, they just seem like they have that like all we got to do is show up because we got Aaron Rodgers mentality. And Saleh, I think, is one of the worst. Like I think he's gonna be one of the first coaches fired after this season.
I am looking forward to seeing Darnold against that secondary because that's a test.
And that is a very and it's believe me.
Going to be basically on a neutral field.
Yep. Yeah,
So
that's
it's
a
like,
tough
okay,
that's
this
a
is
tough
like-
game.
Like you're going up against arguably the best corner in the game. I mean, now you could just avoid him, obviously.
Yep.
But he's probably going to be on Jefferson, and you don't really want to avoid. I honestly would still throw it to Jefferson on that guy, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're gonna pick your spots, but you're not gonna go away. You're not gonna not throw it to Justin Jefferson just because Sauce is on him. Like you're gonna like I said, you're gonna be selective about it, but you're gonna give Justin Jefferson a chance to go prove his worth.
right?
That's why you drafted him to be able to get open against guys like that.
How sad is that Russell Wilson shit to get to pivot for a second? That's hilarious. He can't get past Justin Fields.
I mean, listen, I was hoping that Russell Wilson was going to start for the Steelers because I wanted Steelers fans to have to learn to hate him like I did.
Let's weld.
And Steelers country, let's weld. I wanted them to learn to have to loathe him like I did, and I don't think that they're going to have to suffer through it, and that really kind of disappoints me. I think
Remember
that
when you had to pretend like you didn't loathe him to us on the social medias, and you were like, "No, he's awesome. He's a great."
listen,
guy.
I love Russell Wilson
I thought him and Sean Payton were going to be awesome together.
and they were for about 6 games last year.
Wait, can I finally get my Sean Payton his dog shit pitch out here?
No.
Yeah, I mean you can, but no one's buying it.
Why? What has he done besides 1 year with Drew Brees where they happened to get an onside kick?
It wasn't just 1 year.
What
It
has
was
he done?
continued success for like a
What's he done
decade.
with anybody? What's he done with? No. It was continued meh.
It was
Like,
there
oh,
was
we
there was a
lost in the
lot
second
of.
round again, and they cheated us on a call. Oh, we didn't win again.
I mean, they should have
we
beat. They should have
almost
beat the
won
fucking.
again.
They should have beat the Rams that
No.
year. That was ridiculous.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear
If it weren't
excuses.
for a bullshit, unexpected fucking onside kick and a bad Peyton Manning interception, he would be jack shit. He didn't do dog shit without Drew Brees. He did dog shit in Denver. He's done nothing with any of those
Hey!
QBs.
He's done dog
He did
shit
nothing
so
with Taysom
far.
Hill. He did nothing with Teddy Bridgewater, or was Bridgewater in fucking New Orleans?
Yeah,
He did
32
nothing
goals
with
wasn't.
Bridgewater. He's done nothing with anybody not named Drew Brees.
Well, not for nothing, but nobody's done anything with Teddy Bridgewater.
Do you know what his record is
fair.
with the Saints?
I don't give a shit.
Like, was he like 71-30 or something?
No.
I'm sorry.
169 and 97.
I
That's
feel very
fucking
passionate.
great.
Listen, 2009,
Yeah,
he
it's
is
about the
very
same win
passionate in my
percentage,
hate for
70%.
Sean Payton.
Still.
Listen, I know you're still mad about 09.
I'll never let that die.
I know you won't. I know, and that's why I love you, because you like me, like once we latch on to a hatred of somebody for something, it just doesn't go away. It's like my
NFL history,
it's like my
NFL history
completely
books deserve a Brett Favre Vikings championship.
listen. We could have had a fucking Peyton Manning, Brett Favre Super Bowl, and that would have been the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen, because I literally could have just kicked back and been like, I'm happy no matter what happens, and I was robbed of that, and instead
We could have had an Adrian Peterson Super Bowl.
you know, it would have been a nice fitting. Like, I remember watching the Saints win that and just thinking, like, damn, that could have been you, Brett.
No, instead, everybody's got to gargle Sean Payton's nuts for the next decade because he had an onside kick and a fucking bad Peyton Manning interception.
I mean, the onside kick was a
10 fucking
ballsy
years.
fucking
And he gets to
call.
go on. Gets to go. That's my new term for when people are glazing. I don't like glazing. It sounds weird. I used to work in donuts. I don't like it. So I'm using gargling nuts because it sounds gayer.
It does.
It does. It
I
sounds
mean-
really bad. Like you gotta like move them around in there. Like you gotta put in effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you almost gotta
That's
you
next-
almost gotta like massage your throat while they're in there.
Next level. Like,
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that man got a TV job, and now he got your job, and the Walmart guy's paying him. It's terrible.
I mean, listen, he's doing a good job in Denver. He's gonna
I
get
have to-
Bo
I
Nix
have to
going.
load
So,
your team until you release him into the wild.
I mean, I get it, but you know me, Duffy. I live for the hate.
That's fine. It's fine.
I
yeah,
live
me
for
too.
it.
It's fine. It's fine. They finally put us at number 1 on power rankings. I'm like Thanos. I can rest finally.
No, you don't care about power rankings. Come on.
I just wanted one time. I don't care, but just for once I wanted to see like when we were like 13-4 a couple years ago, not one time was it like, oh, maybe they're the best team in the league. No. Which is fine. We lost to Daniel Jones, but whatever. But it was nice. It's nice to see it. It's because we're better right now than the Chiefs. The Chiefs look like shit.
I'll tell you what, dude. If you just look at the way that these two teams have gotten to 4-0, yeah, the Vikings are much more impressive.
Like we haven't trailed for a single second against the Niners, who haven't beaten us at home in 30+ years, or the Texans, who haven't beaten us in their entire history over 7, or the fucking Packers, who are just dog shit and dumb and suck.
I mean, listen, the Vikes have been
Jordan Love
impressive,
going too.
and you know what's equally as impressive in the other direction. The Dolphins have yet to lead this year at any point.
Bro, don't get me started on having Tyreek Hill in fantasy. I don't want to do this.
Oh no, yeah, it's a bad hit.
Don't blame Tyreek. Tyreek's a terrible human being, but the coaching is the problem there.
But he's so good in fantasy. It's just.
I know he was an automatic like 25 points in fantasy every week until now.
You can't sit him because when you sit him, he'll get like a fucking 99-yard fucking screen from
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley, and he'll be like, "Oh yay!"
Yep,
Fantasy. I don't know why I do it.
I know. Same. It's pain and torture.
Yeah, fantasy's the worst.
All right, before I go, let's get Super Bowl picks. Who's going on each side?
Well,
Well, Jesus,
I can't change my picks from after
I never heard them. I've been working overnight, so this is the first time I've talked to
So
them.
Sean and I both picked Niners Bengals
Yep.
preseason.
Oh God.
Yeah, that turned out like
There's still time.
The good thing is like that pick went to shit like real quick and early. So like, okay, cool. Then we can move on from it.
Nope. I had to stick with
I'll
it.
tell you what though, at the quarter poll of the season, I mean, I don't see anybody. I want somebody to beat the Chiefs in the AFC, but I realistically, even though they're not playing well and they lost Rashee Rice for the season, I still don't see anybody beating the Chiefs because they still have a pretty dominant defense.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a dominant defense with a quarterback as capable as Mahomes, they're going to find ways to beat you because they're always going to be in the game. I'm gonna.
You're not even mentioning their biggest weapon, the Swifties.
The Swifties, right? They got Swifty power.
Taylor Swift's going to go out there at wide receiver.
Swifties for the three-peat.
Yeah, Swifties for the 3P. And then, the refs are obviously going to be like, well, we need the Swifties in the Super Bowl, so here we go.
I put 50 on that the night they won the second one. I was like, there's no chance in hell if they're going to parade this around for another year.
Yep.
Duffy, speaking of being a Swiftie, did you see on our page, Miguel, who's our intern, he posted a Taylor Swift video.
I'm happy for you guys. Wait, what did he post?
A Taylor Swift video. It was like 6 seconds long. She just says hello. And then
it was her walking into Arrowhead.
Yeah, and it got 1.5 million views, like 3,000 shares, like a bunch of stuff. And it was just all the comments were like, fuck you, kill yourself, you're a whore. And I was like, holy shit. Like, all she said was, hey, guys. And everyone in the comments was like, kill yourself.
But this,
it was
this video got posted to our page, and it got 1.5 million views. Like, I don't think we've done 1.5 million views collectively in the 10 years we've had the page.
We have now.
I mean...
your post got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant just like her posting herself saying, hi, got it.
No. We posted.
Oh, wow.
We posted the video to Row 1 Seat 1, and it got 1.5 million.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's the power of the Swifties.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I'm saying, dude,
this is an all Swiftie channel now.
Yeah, we are all Swift. We're all in on the Swifties. So I'm gonna go Kansas City, and listen, if we're being realistic, like, do I think this Sam Darnold thing is gonna carry for the rest of the season? Yes.
I don't know.
I do because
I don't know if it carries in the playoffs. I mean, the defense does though. That's the thing.
Like
every time I want to doubt Darnold, I just look at the defense.
And what did we just say about defense? It travels, baby. And who's got a better defense in the NFC right now? Listen, it's not going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not getting back. The Cowboys ain't getting there. The Niners are a fucking shell of themselves right now. They don't know what the fucking way is up. Honestly, the only team that I could really see giving the Vikings a run is the LA Rams.
I think the Rams are too injured.
I do like the Rams.
That's the only. But if they get, I like the Bucks, but the Bucks again, they're banged up.
Their defense sucks, but
yeah, that's the thing. They don't have a defense, and I like as much as I like Baker. Look at what the Broncos defense did. They suffocated him. He can be beat. Mike Evans is another year older too.
I don't think I like them for like Super Bowl, but like maybe like a playoff win, Washington.
Okay, yeah, there's a team sneaky good right now.
Like Washington's winning that division.
I'm gonna do a little Tony Romo imitation. I don't know. I still think
dog shit. The Cowboys are the Cowboys, and the Giants are the Giants.
I still think the Cowboys, though, regular season are going to get it together. Now, how that translates to January obviously remains yet to be seen. I still think the Cowboys win that division. But man,
he could just get hit wrong and go down like RG3 any minute. So you're right. That could.
He's frail. We think he's frail. We don't know that he's frail. He hasn't shown us he's frail yet. But Sean and I are sus. But
that kid looks awesome.
I don't know, man.
He's too thin.
I think it comes down really. I think those four teams, like Cowboys, Redskins, Vikings, Rams. Like I feel like one of those four teams is going to be it.
Yeah, it's about getting home field. Oh, I mean, we're leaving out Detroit if I'm going to be.
Oh yeah, true. Detroit's going to be a problem.
That's
definitely.
Where no one's giving us. Everyone's like, "Well, you're not going to win the division." And I'm like, "Why?" Detroit lost to the fucking.
I could see the Vikings winning the division. I mean, I know it's a 4-0 start, and I've seen teams. Listen, man, I watched the Broncos start 6-0 only to finish 8-8 once, and that was a shitty feeling.
And an injury. I mean, dude, all it takes is an injury.
Well, but we never predict injuries when we're doing these, right? Because obviously we can't.
No, obviously,
you can't.
Get my hopes up,
you can't hold me accountable if something happens to Sam Darnold. Like no,
or Justin.
I'm just basing this off what I've seen so far. I listen. I love this Vikings team, and you know me, Duffy. I've been a closet Vikes fan my whole life, from the John Randall, Randy Moss days, and. We got robbed in '98, man. Broncos, Vikings would have been the greatest Super Bowl of all time.
I haven't had my hopes this high. I don't even know.
Probably in 15 years.
I hate how vulnerable this is. It's like, I know what's coming, and it's fine.
It's up. Hey, you got to keep the faith, though.
We're like
you can't give up.
Version of the Bills.
No.
Nah.
I mean, 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. They lost 4 in 4 years.
I gotta say though, I really feel like Kansas City, Minnesota would be a fun Super Bowl.
I don't know.
We're more alike than you think.
It's too early. It's too early.
Have you seen the Rolling Rock Vikings guy?
No. No. Who's that?
He does like jackass table jumps onto tables filled with Rolling Rock cans while wearing like an empty Rolling Rock cardboard thing on his face to be like a knight.
I have not
He's doing
seen
it
this.
in like Minnesota. Every time they win, he just does it from like a different place, like a tree or something.
I'm gonna find this on Twitter.
Is he gonna jump off of the top of the stadium?
It's the stupidest shit, but
I'll
I
probably
follow
die.
so much Viking shit that it keeps spamming my FYP or whatever the fuck you call it.
The For You page.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just keeps fucking. I keep seeing it every week now. The kid just
Keeps
jumping
fucking my
into shit.
FYP. It just sounds so funny to say that.
I love it.
I've officially gotten to the point where I feel old.
Hey, you know, we all get there eventually.
Yeah, time comes for us all,
dude,
buddy.
It was my joke Super Bowl. Like I was gonna like put $20 on Vikings Chiefs as like a joke. Like.
And now you're like,
preseason.
fuck, the odds of
And
this.
now I'm like,
Now the odds
why is
suck.
that gonna- like, remember when it was Raptors fucking Warriors, and I said at the beginning of the year, I was like, as a joke, I was like, oh, it'd be cool if it was Raptors Warriors.
Duffy.
And then it was.
Duffy, it doesn't hurt. Like in the words of Kevin from The Office, if someone's giving you 10,000 to 1 odds, you take those odds.
Yeah.
Like, dude, every year I put down Patriots. Every year I've done it since they've allowed it. Patriots to score a touchdown in every single game, $10. This year, obviously, does not fucking happen because it's already over. I would have won $5,700 off of $10. You know what I mean? It's like it's a shot in the dark. It's worth your time. Like it's worth your money. Like you're gonna spend $10 on something stupid. You can go fucking get like a coffee and a bagel for fucking 13. So,
dude, listen, I literally bought a medium cold brew, and a glazed donut from Dunkin' the other day, and it was like $8.97. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Duffy, I've made this year $789 off of just weekly parlays, and I don't do anything crazy. I throw $10. I do anytime touchdowns. I do running bets. I do receiving bets. I play the odds. I say this guy's probably definitely going to hit this. I've only missed a handful. I've done very well on it. So
I was missed by like 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah, but it depends what you're doing. Like if you're looking for like a shot, if you're asking for like the third running back in the Giants to score a touchdown, I'm like,
no,
all right.
no, I was asking for like Jamar Chase. You know, nothing crazy. Just Jamar Chase.
Well, it was two. It was
Who wants $200 million? You know, I figured maybe you'd catch a fucking touchdown, but no.
No, he doesn't do that. But there was a guy who bet the fullback of fucking I don't know what team it was, Chicago or something like that, to score the first touchdown, and he put like $200 on it. He won like $187,000.
You know what you can bet, Joey, that you might be interested in is whether or not Bronny's first basket's going to be assisted by LeBron.
All right, he doesn't hear it right now because he had to step away for 2 seconds, but But I'm gonna say absolutely
right?
not.
He's gotta
No,
just get him a little setup.
no,
Get him a little setup.
no, because that would be if you're LeBron's dad. I'm sorry, if you're Bronny's dad and LeBron is giving you an assisted points on your first thing, you're stealing your son's thunder. Like there's no
What
way.
if it's an alley?
No.
What if it's like a dope alley?
Well, it depends. What are the odds on it?
Oh, I don't know. A dunk for first basket of his career is plus 900.
Wow.
Really?
Dude, I might throw $10 on that.
It's plus 250 to be assisted by LeBron. It's way less. But if you're thinking alley-oop, then you might as well just bet the dunk.
Well, does that last for the season? It's Bronny's first basket because they're gonna put him in it. They're gonna put him in dog shit time. He's not gonna see real minutes.
They're gonna get on the court together. LeBron's gonna get the ball because he's LeBron, and he's gonna try to set his kid up with an easy bucket.
Does LeBron do a Tom Brady?
What do you mean?
Kiss his son on the lips after the basket?
Oh my gosh.
I forgot all about that.
No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. You bring it up all the time.
I did bet on Wemby to hit a quadruple double
Ooh.
at some point.
I have no faith in that dude either.
Really?
You human fucking spider.
I probably shouldn't, but I have a lot of faith in him.
He has no cartilage.
You know why? You know why I have faith in him? Because he's playing for the fucking Spurs, and I hate them. And that means he's probably going to be good.
What, of his wine?
Like the still shots of his length,
I saw this.
Him or something.
I saw the still of him standing next to Chris Paul, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
He's like Slender Man.
No, but like in game when he like reaches out to like block or something, and Steph has to shoot over the arched out hand. The Olympic one when he reached out and Steph had to shoot over him.
It's ridiculous.
This shit was insane.
It is. His range is like his length is just
literally an alien, dude.
yeah, for real.
He'd be great in a horror movie.
All right, Joey, who's our best chance to beat these bum ass Celtics? Before I go,
What the
I
fuck?
mean,
what are our top 3 bandwagons?
Philly, Knicks.
Thunder?
No, not Knicks anymore after that dog shit trade they just made.
No, I think they're
Hold
still
on,
better
hold
than
on.
Boston.
Why is that dog shit? Am I the biggest cat truther in the world? Why is it dog shit? Cat's the fucking man.
You think Cat is better at this point?
I think Cat. If you take out Jokic, there isn't a more talented offensive center than Cat.
Yeah, but they don't need offense on that Knicks team. They needed
The
a.
pick and pop with Brunson and Cat's gonna be lethal.
No, I don't. I,
mean-
I think that was a mistake by them.
Listen, I think it's an upgrade from what they had, but I still don't think it's enough for them to win a championship. But I do think it is enough for them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and beat Boston.
They weren't going to be able to keep Randall because he was going to want more money.
Yeah, but you've
And
had
then
him for
they
this
wa- and then
season.
Dante wanted out.
Oh fuck, DiVincenzo. What the fuck?
DiVincenzo.
Yeah, however you
Well, no,
say
but
it.
people are getting people. I've been told that's why they lost the deal because they gave him up, and I'm like, well, he wanted out anyways once they got McHale.
Nah, screw that
And
dude.
the other side couldn't keep Naz Reid, so they had to let go of Towns.
But they also gave up 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. I'm like,
Yeah, fuck them picks.
I'm
Though.
like, yeah, I know that's how you feel.
And
But
one of the picks is Detroit. Fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
I hope my friend Brandon's not listening, but fuck Detroit.
I don't know. I just didn't understand that trade. I'm like,
Except for
why?
The Tigers.
The
That's
Tigers.
dope. The Tigers are dope. Everything else, fuck Detroit.
Oh,
Detroit.
I was like, wait a minute.
Sorry, Detroit.
What? I'm like the
Sorry, I
Guangdong
just said
Tigers
fuck
of
Detroit,
China.
But then I was thinking about Tariq Skubal, and he fucking went ape shit today on
Yeah, he did.
the Astros. And fuck you, stupid Astros in the trash cans.
Man, fuck you. Stroh's coming back and winning
Whatever.
this shit.
No, they're not.
Yeah, we are.
It's their time. They didn't even put fucking Verlander on their postseason roster. That's how fucking washed they are.
I know. I actually looked at the at this matchup coming in. I was like, ugh.
How old is Verlander? Was he 40?
42.
40, yeah. I will say I've come around on Altuve. He is maybe one of the better at his position ever.
Nah, fuck him.
Altuve's. I mean, he's going on the short list of most clutch postseason performers of all time for sure. At least of this generation.
Yeah, exactly.
He's up there.
We
He's starting.
Just hired Buster Posey, president of operations.
I mean, you know me and my irrational hate for the Giants.
Yeah, why was Buster Posey made the?
It's totally irrational. I have no reason to
It's
hate the
stupid.
Giants other than they beat. Other than I was like
When
mildly
Buster Posey-
disappointed when they beat the Royals that one time.
What about the
Buster
time?
Posey asked, and when Buster Posey asks, you give him what he asks for.
I remember the
Yeah.
year that I've always
You're damn
enjoyed
right you do.
when the Red Sox DFA'd Pablo Sandoval, which was the greatest day of my life.
Yeah.
I hated that.
And then he came back and won again.
No, wait. The best part, we were live on this show years ago, and Joey's like, breaking news, the Red Sox signed Pablo Sandoval. And I was like, I'm about to fucking break this headset. Are you kidding me? And I was
when they
so...
signed him or when they cut him.
When they signed him, I was
Oh,
furious.
yeah.
And Joey
When
was like...
he left, I was like, oh, he's gonna be trash everywhere else he goes.
Well, that's
except for
it's
here.
funny you say that. He went back to the Giants, and the Giants needed to lose the last game of the year to keep the number 1 overall pick. So they said, great, we're going to call up Pablo. We're going to have him take the last at bat. We'll definitely lose because he's a strikeout machine. The fat pig goes out there, hits a home run into the bay, is celebrating rounding the bases, and they show the GM of the Giants just looking like he's ready to kill himself because he's like, I signed this fat piece of shit to get a strikeout, and he literally cost us the first overall pick.
And this is why we have Buster Posey.
There
Yeah,
you
that
go.
was years ago, though.
Yeah, that was a while ago now, but
Yeah, but things lead to other things.
true. The domino effect is real.
Exactly. Now, but if he signs Blake Snell, then all is golden with me.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the GM's family pulled a Menendez on Pablo Sandoval's family. Just walk in with shotguns and just blow those people away.
It's like, you motherfucker, you.
That's great. All right. Well, I appreciate this time, brothers. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll
Duff.
take up too much more.
Great
No,
call, bud.
Duffy-
Appreciate hearing from you, buddy.
Thanks for calling. Good luck to your Vikings. I have no horse in the game. My team's I fucking be happy with 4 wins at this point.
I know, man. Hey, good luck. Hey, try to get the number 1 pick or something, you know.
Listen, man.
Now that Dalton's doing his thing.
I'm hoping I get the opportunity to break out my purple Jesus jersey at some point this year.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right,
Later.
bud. Thanks for the call.
All right, bye.
Really?
774-992-8702 if you want to give us your thoughts and feelings on whatever it is that you're thinking about.
Duffy has made me incredibly anxious about if there's a Bronny bet. Now I'm gonna go search that up. If I can bet on Bronny's first basket of his career,
It'd be fun. That'll be fun.
that sounds like easy
I totally
money.
forgot to do I usually do like a $10 anytime touchdown parlay on Sundays, and I completely forgot to do one this week.
I did it.
Like I deposited my money for my NASCAR bets, and then I bet my NASCAR bets, and I missed by of course, I bet Kyle Busch. He's running first with 30 to go, gets wrecked naturally. I bet Joey Logano. He's running third, having a really good day. Bad pit stop, goes a lap down or 2 laps down naturally. And then who else? And I took Noah Gragson, top 10 finish, ends up finishing like 11th. I'm like, naturally.
So I'm gonna tell you some of these. So I was listening to all the bets you didn't place.
No, the bets I did place that just missed.
Oh, that just missed. These
Yeah.
are the bets that you didn't place that hit.
Of course, the one time I don't bet Ross Chastain this year, he wins.
Dude, we might have to bet some of the. I'm not even a Lakers person, and I'm definitely not a Bronny person. I might have to take some of these odds. Bronny, Rookie of the Year, 30,000 to 1.
Yeah, I don't know. He's getting Rookie of the Year.
Bro, I know, but 30,000 to 1.
If someone gives you 30,000 to 1 odds, you take those
If I bet
odds.
$1, that's me 30,000.
Yeah.
Also, if he scores 20 points in any game, plus 9,000.
Wow.
That's fucking crazy.
For a 20-point game. And, not to say that, 20 points is easy, but, I feel like that's actually attainable.
Any triple-double in any game this season, any triple-double, 10-10-10, whatever, 15,000 to 1.
Wow.
They have so little hopes for this kid. There's no chance he hits any of these.
But, but you throw a buck on all three of those. You spend $3, and you have, the potential to win a couple grand.
There's 10 right now. If I spent $10, $1 on all of them, some of these are plus 9,000, plus 15,000, plus 4,500, plus 15,000. This make 3 threes in any game, plus 600.
He is a three-point shooter, allegedly.
I know, but 600 to 1 odds? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, I know. To hit 3 threes, I mean, listen, it's not like these are outlandish numbers. It's just who's putting them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And how much playing time is he going to get? Because if Bronny's playing, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to hit for one of two things has to happen for you to hit those bets. Either he's going to play out of his mind and you're going to hit the bets because he's won the job, or D'Lo gets hurt and the Lakers are probably in pretty big trouble. I mean, are they in trouble though? Because it's still an AD and LeBron, but still, I mean, if Bronny is the guy that you're funneling your game through to the point where you're scoring 20 or triple doubles, I don't know that that's a good thing for the Lakers overall success wise.
Bronny to have first field goal assisted by LeBron James plus 250. It's not as much as I thought. I was hoping it was way more.
I don't know. I'm gonna look at some of those Bronny bets. I feel like Duffy said, there's 20. 20 is possible in garbage time. A 20-point game. You know what I mean? One of those games, just all right, get in there. He plays that most of the second half and just kind of has hits a couple threes and
Absolutely.
a couple layers. I might throw $10 down on that.
Me being a cynical
What was
piece
that
of
plus
shit.
15,000 for a 20-point game?
Plus 15,000.
For a 20-point game.
No, that was triple double. I think 9,000 was the other one.
Okay, so I could win 90 grand on a $10 bet.
I think it would be $9,000.
I'm sorry. You said, yeah, plus 9,000,
Yeah.
not 90,000. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking.
I was like, wait a minute.
I was thinking the plus 30,000 bet for a minute ago. Yeah, so 9 grand for a 20-point game.
You'd be one of those people who just puts $100 on it and walks out of the casino 100,000. You're like,
Yay! Look at me. I mean, I could see that though. I could see Bronny scoring 20 at some point this year if you get it, like you said, garbage time is a real thing in the NBA.
it's massive, especially if they, the NBA.
Especially when the first half of the season or the first 2/3 of the season are basically a formality anyway.
For I don't know how many pictures I've seen of LeBron James and Bronny doing their fucking media day shit. I'm like, I get it. It's father and son on the same team. I get it. The NBA is like, you got to play these fucking guys right now. That tall fucking creep of a GM for the league or a commissioner for the league.
Yeah.
He's like, must play them. Like fucking
Silver.
Smeagol. Or Gollum. Smeagol
Gollum.
Yeah, I said the wrong
Gollum.
name. Smeagol was when he was not taken over by the ring. Sorry, I'm getting real nerdy.
Getting real sweaty in here, bro.
My precious. They gives us LeBron and Brown and the NBA records. Fucking guy, man.
I love it. I love it. It's going to be so much fun to watch the Lakers this year just for that aspect of it. Because the Lakers are going to be front page news every single day, which is great for me, but sucks for the rest of the league.
It's still crazy how they went out and all their plans. Like even people were like me, were like, we all thought Steph Curry was going to end up in a Laker, and the Golden State Warriors were like, we'll give you $100 billion to play for 1 year, and he's like, okay,
Yeah. We'll give you 62 million reasons not to go to LA. And he was like,
done.
that's
1 year deal.
That's enough reasons. That's enough reasons. I'm kind of glad, in a way. Like as a Lakers fan, just a real quick aside on basketball. As a Lakers fan, obviously I'm disappointed we didn't get Steph in a trade, because
Yeah, of course, it's Steph Curry.
to see Steph, LeBron, and AD on the same court on the same team would just be like, yeah, all right, dude. And then it would piss off Celtics fans so fucking much that Steph gets a fifth ring in LA. And LA gets another ring, and they're like, "Dog, fucking buy your titles and blah blah blah, bought not built, and meh meh meh, Danny's assets, meh meh meh." All that would have been great, but the traditionalist in me, and like the old school fan in me, is glad Steph's staying in the Bay, because that's where he belongs.
Yeah, I don't like guys leaving.
And to have a guy just like go and finish his whole career in one spot.
Love that.
I love it, especially like when you won 4 titles. You're the greatest shooter of all time, arguably the greatest point guard of all time. Like you're just to see him change teams would just be so new NBA, and I hate the new NBA. Like I liked it better when it was like, basically the Celtics, Bulls, Pistons, Hawks, like all these teams are just basically running it back to back to back, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years in a row. You might get a couple of guys here and there, but your core 5, 6, 7 guys all stayed together, and those teams grew, and they either grew into champions or, like the Atlanta Hawks and Neek, they just came up short every year, but they still tried. Mm-hmm. And they were still there, and they were still present. But this new God, I mean, I guess it's part of the fun of the NBA too, because the NBA offseason's kind of like no other now, where major names change teams, and like one guy moving, like Cat going from the Timbs to the Knicks, like whether we want to or not, like that's a pretty conference altering move.
It is. I think he was pretty stunned too, because
I think it puts the Knicks kind of as like it's listen.
The Knicks are going for it.
On paper, the Celtics are going to be one because they're the defending champs and the reigning 1 seed and blah 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 blah. But we all know that the Celtics, great, they're cool, they're a good regular season team. They didn't face any adversity in the playoffs last year. None.
No, they need to wake up too.
And I like Tatum's still talking about like being on the cover of 2K and like all this other, and it's like, dude, these guys, he's so fucking. I'm just so sick of Jason Tatum already, and the season hasn't even started yet. And I'm glad that I get to love to hate him, because he's a bum and he's overrated, and like.
But that's good. You need to dislike people.
You
sports.
have to. Yeah. If you don't have somebody to hate, it's like
it's not fun.
It's not fun at all. Like, and I don't care what sport you're watching. So. And not only that, but he plays for the team that I hate, and he's an easy guy to hate for me, because I just think he's just so like he's just and of course Boston fans overrate the fucking shit out of him. It's like, dude, he's the second best player on your team at best. Get over it.
It's for sure. After the end of the playoffs last year, there's no doubt and good for Jaylen Brown though, for being like, you know what, I'm second fiddle, like kind of like nodded his head. He's like, I can't dribble. Okay.
And went out and completely reinvented his game.
Dominated all the fucking playoffs by himself.
Yep.
When he wasn't on the court, it was like Jason Tatum was missing like just straight easy buckets.
He was doing what Jason Tatum does in the playoffs.
And Jaylen Brown was
sucking.
Jaylen Brown's like, I got it, and won everything.
Mm-hmm. So I know everybody's like, oh, Jason Tatum had better numbers. Man, shut up. It's just for the birds, bro. We all know who the best player on that court was last year.
And Jaylen Brown this offseason just got crazy big. I don't know why he's put on all this muscle, which actually kind of scares me.
Oh, well. Go play some bully ball, bro. I'd love to see it.
He's like all of a sudden he's like Ben Simmons size. I'm not exaggerating.
Right.
But he's like the definition in his arms. It's like, why are you doing that?
It's like, please don't replicate Ben Simmons' shot. You can replicate his look all you want, just not his shot.
Yeah, we all know Ben Simmons was like, oh, dominant young, and then the older he got, it's like, you sluggish as shit.
Mm-hmm. 774-992-8702. Continuing on with the NFL. Listen, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take a few minutes to throw some bouquets to my Denver Broncos, your Denver Broncos, our Denver Broncos. We believe
Walmart's team.
in the Broncos now.
We believe.
The amount, when I turned on the national radio stations on Monday, as I sometimes do, because I don't always listen. Like I've told you guys before, I don't like to listen to sports radio because it taints my takes. I like to watch the
And it's
sport.
awful.
I like to, and also it sucks for the most part. Like I listen to Adam Shine, and once in a while, if I get a chance to listen to Jim Rome, I will, because Rome is a journalist and he's fun. And Rome is one of my all-time GOAT favorites. I think he's one of the best to ever do it. But I don't listen to him a shit ton because, again, I don't like to listen to sports. I don't like to listen to other people tell me what to think. I've been around long enough. I watch the sports enough. I watch the games. I know what to watch, how to watch it, and then come on here and talk about it and give you what I think.
We're old enough to make our own analysis, and if we happen to agree with somebody else,
So be it.
happenstance.
And you know what? And a lot of times you get to this level, like you're going to find yourself sharing a brain with a lot of guys that
That
are
watch
on the
the game
national.
enough.
Because you want right. I mean, football is football, no matter how you spin it. Like, I mean, we'll have our misses. We're not Colin Cowherd missing,
No.
but we're
Oh.
but we're not gonna. We're not. We're not the Swami here. So it is what it is. But at least we back our opinions up with facts and numbers and reasons why we believe what we believe. So when I turned on Sirius and I put on Mad Dog Radio on Monday morning, I caught the end of the morning show, whatever it is now. It used to be Morning Men, which was great, but now I don't even know what it is. And they were talking about something, and I turned on and I listened to Adam Shine, and I listened to his monologue, and Shine pissed me off on Monday.
Okay.
And it's not often Shine pisses me off, but he does sometimes, but it's not often. Instead of it being about the dominating Broncos defense that we've seen through the first 4 weeks of the season, which it has been, go look at DK Metcalf, George Pickens, Mike Evans, and what's his name? Wilson's numbers. The Jets, Wilson, the receiver. Go look
Garrett
at
Wilson.
Garrett Wilson. Go look at those guys' numbers when they've played the Broncos. Okay. Patrick Surtain has put those four men in a fucking box. No one is getting open on PS2. No one. Not DK, not Mike Evans, not Garrett Wilson, not whoever the Steelers trotted out against him. It's just not happening.
He's shutting them down.
He is, and not for nothing, Riley Moss might be the best number 2 in the league right now. Because that boy is balling. He is everywhere. He is a tackling machine. He is doing it all. Best white corner in the game, hands down. Okay? Finally, a win for the white guys at corner. All right. Yeah. But
Imagine
instead of it,
all the cornerbacks meeting in an auditorium, it's like, you don't belong here.
Yeah.
The guy's like, hey!
hey, this is corners, not receivers. He's like, I know. Safeties are over there, bro. Like, it's corners, not safeties. He's like, I know. You sure? But instead of it being all about the Broncos' dominant defense and everything else, it was all about the same old Jets. And how are you going to lose at home to Bo Nix when he throws for 60 yards? And that. It was all about what the Jets didn't do instead of what the Broncos did do. And I feel like to me, that was a cheap, lazy take. And Shine doesn't have cheap, lazy takes. And I get he picked the Jets and he was mad, because the Jets should be 3-1 right now on paper. And they should be, leading their division after the Bills got blown out on Monday night. They should be number 1 in the division, and they should be on their
They'd
way.
be tied.
Well, they would have the tiebreaker. The Jets would have been.
Why would they have the tiebreaker?
I don't know, but they would have.
Okay.
There's whatever the tiebreaker was, common opponent's division record. I have no idea what it was, but the Jets would have been had the Bills losing and the Jets beat the Broncos. The Jets would have.
Had to be like AFC division.
It would have been
record.
tied at 3-1, but they would have been it's three. It's a tie game. I'm winning. That kind of thing.
Right.
It was all about what the Jets didn't do. And I get that. If you're a Jets fan, you are frustrated as absolute fuck after watching that game. But what you should be frustrated about, and I'm going to say this, a little bit scared, is how good this Broncos defense has been the first 4 weeks of the season. This team is playing lights fucking out defense. They held Aaron Rodgers to 80 yards passing in the first half, okay? Now, I know Bo Nix only had 60 yards passing the entire game. I think it was like -7 or 9 yards in the first half.
Actually, it was -3.
It was more than that.
It was more?
It was more than that.
Oh, I got lied to then.
Yeah, it was more than that. It was at one point he was like, or maybe it was in the third quarter. He was like -9 or 11 yards. It was a rough go, and the weather was atrocious. But this Broncos defense, I mean, I'm sorry, Jaquan McMillan is the best nickel in the game. Riley Moss, the best number 2. We have the best secondary in the league right now. We've got one of the best front four. I mean, Allen was playing absolutely out of his fucking mind. What's his name? The defensive tackle defensive end they brought over from the Jets with the hyphenated last name on free agent. Veteran guy. Played out of his fucking mind. Okay, they're getting after it up front. This Broncos defense is playing fucking lights out, dude. And I'm telling you right now, this offense is gonna find its footing.
Franklin Myers,
thank you. This offense is gonna find its footing. Bo Nix, even though he looked like shit on the stat sheet, if you watch what he did and when he did it, now there was some bad things that happened. I mean, there was some bad throws, some wobbly ducks, some balls that slipped out of his hands. But
Okay.
you know who else did that too? The 20-year vet, the Hall of Famer, the Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers. All right, he had a lot of those same mistakes, balls slipping out of his hands, fumbled balls, so on and so forth.
Sure.
It was a monsoon in New York. It was bad, and it was a rough go for both quarterbacks. That being said, the Jets defense, top 5 unit in the league all day. Okay, you got Sauce Gardner, you've got players. You know that Jets defense is tough. Everybody does. We've talked about it how many times on this show that Jets defense is legit as fuck.
Yeah,
So
tons of talent.
I am not overly concerned about the way the Broncos offense looked throughout, I'd say, the first 3 quarters of that game. Because by the second half, midway through the third quarter, they started running the ball. And all of a sudden, they started gashing that Jets defense. And when that happened, they started moving it. And that's when they got down inside finally inside the red zone. Bo Nix finds Cortland Sutton, which on a ball that almost got away from him. And Sutton had to toe tap in the back of the end zone when, he was pretty much all by himself and just should have been able to stand there flat-footed and catch it. But listen, the weather was a little bit fucky. Touchdown holds up. The Broncos end up winning by 1. Now, the one thing I will criticize Sean Payton in this game, the wasted challenges. Because at the end of the game, they sacked Aaron Rodgers, and he fumbled the ball. The ball was coming loose before he hit the ground, but they were out of challenges, and they ruled it down by contact, which would have given the Broncos the ball like inside the 25 of the Jets, rather than having them
How
punt
much time on the clock?
That was in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
So it was. I think it was like 7-8 minutes to go. It was the second or third to last drive, I believe, for the Jets.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers fumbled it. They were out of challenges. Okay, you got to clean that shit up.
Yes.
They challenged the ball that they thought Cortland Sutton had caught. He thought he caught it. He did catch it if we're using the Burt Emanuel rule. But you know how those go when they rule it on the field. They're like, I don't see enough. The rain was on the lens of the camera. You couldn't really see. Like, it was that tough.
All right. You're sorry.
But it was just a wasted challenge. Like, you know what? At that point, keep it in your back pocket because you never know when you're going to need it. Don't waste it.
Yes.
Especially for like an 8-yard gain on second down, 9-yard gain. Like, I know it gets you to third and inches or second and inches, and first downs are tough to come by. But that fumble, they were and the Broncos recovered it, they're already in field goal range. They could take 3 knees and kick it, and the game's over. So you got to save that. Then the Broncos get the sack. Vance Joseph is dialing up defenses at like he's like the second coming of fucking Wade Phillips in Denver. And he's dialing up. P.J. Locke comes off the corner on a safety blitz, sacks Aaron Rodgers on 4th down. Ball gets turned over. The Broncos have it. 2 minutes to go. The Jets have all 3 timeouts. Broncos needed 1 first down to run out the clock.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, they're in field goal range. Okay? Not close field goal range, but they're in field goal range. They're in Will Lutz's range. So you're thinking like, okay, let's get a first down. Game over. Come up with they get to 3rd and 2. They don't get it. So they kick a 50-yard field goal. with a minute 37 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
Lutz misses it. You're like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, are we really going to do this?
With Aaron Rodgers.
You got Aaron Rodgers with 2 timeouts and a minute and 30 seconds to
which
go.
is like for a lifetime.
And I'm like, and all he's going to do is get in field goal range?
Yep.
I'm like, we're fucking fucked. They get in field goal range. They go to kick the game winner.
He missed it.
And the football gods return the favor. Legatron misses it wide right. Broncos win 10-9.
I saw
Ugliest fucking win. But, man, let me tell you, I was going fucking nuts.
Of course you were.
Because if we lose that game, we're 1-3.
Yes.
Not looking good. Now you get to 2-2. You just went on the road to Tampa and New York, and you held Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers to under 400 yards combined passing. They combined for like 360 or 370 yards. Mm-hmm. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and they're like 7 first downs in 2 games.
It's massively impressive to do that to any 2 quarterbacks in the league, much less 2 namely ones. And I know people say Baker Mayfield and still get shit on, but the Baker Mayfield of recent has been very good. So
but look at what Baker Mayfield did the game before the Broncos game and the game after. Like, look what Baker did this weekend. He was lighting it up.
Playing lights out. Oh, he has been playing lights out, I should say.
He's had 1 bad game this year, and it was against the Broncos.
The thing I'll ask you about the Broncos is this. I said probably too soon for Bo Nix. Thinks he needs more time, but I'm not Sean Payton. Like, Sean Payton says, I'm going to do baptism by fire. I'm going to do baptism by fire. If he does not correct it out, it's week 8. You guys are in competitive range. Does he make the switch to the vet? Does he go to Stidham?
No.
Does he go to Zach Wilson?
Listen, because you're talking 4 weeks from now.
Yes, at the end of week 8, yes.
At the end of week 8, no. Because he is all in.
So he's going to ride this kid.
On Bo Nix.
What if it costs you a playoff spot? What if you just miss the playoffs and it's due to like.
So be it.
Okay.
Because if you make the playoffs with Bo Nix, because like Sean Payton said before, when they were 0-2, after the first 2 games against, at Seattle and home against Pittsburgh, he says, the next time I lose more than 7 games in a season, or I don't win 7 games in a season, the next time I don't win 7 games in a season will be my first. And that told me everything I needed to hear, because he's basically saying, like, we're winning at least 7 games this year. Like, I've never, that's my benchmark. Like, we've never come in under that as a coach. So a Sean Payton-led team has never won, at worst has been 7-9. Now,
I got to check that. I think he was worse.
No, he wasn't. I can already promise you he wasn't.
Okay,
7-9. That being said, he's all in on Bo Nix, and he's defended Bo Nix every single step of the way. And not for nothing, but guys like Pat Surtain, Cortland Sutton, Stranad, Josh Allen, like all these guys, these veteran guys, Garrett Bowles, love Bo Nix. Love him. The kid's a consummate leader. He's a great locker room presence. He works his ass off. He is going to get better. But again, you're talking about the Jets defense, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, a Seattle defense that's probably, maybe not great, but opening day, your first start on the road in Seattle. Not an easy place to go, right? We always talk about it. You get he looks good against the Bucs. The Bucs have a banged up defense. He looked good against the Bucs. Looked great against the Bucs. So he's gonna look good against the lesser tier defenses, and he's gonna struggle against the good ones. That's just the nature of being a rookie. But Sean Payton is now, when you look at the way they move the ball in the third, late in the third and the fourth quarter against the Jets, Javonte looked like Javonte again. They were finding seams. The offensive line started winning battles up front, which they've been winning battles, but we haven't gotten the production out of the running backs. So you've got McLaughlin and Javonte, who all of a sudden looked like what we expected them to look like all offseason.
Yeah.
And Sean Payton said it. He goes, Javonte looked great all summer long. Like, I'm not just going to quit on him. A bad game or 2 is not enough for me to be like, you know what, fuck it, let's get on to the next guy. He's like, it's like Novocaine. Takes a minute, but it works. And that's where I think we're at with this offense now. Like, did you see the things out of the offense that you really wanted to see on Sunday? No. But did you see improvement in specific areas, mainly the running game? Yes. Now, they've got to get better. You know, Sean Payton's got to call better plays late in games like that when you have the ball go like trying to kill the clock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't love and here's the one play that I can tell you that absolutely proves that Sean Payton has the utmost faith in Bo Nix. It was 2nd down and I believe 8 on that final drive, and he rolls Bo Nix out on a passing play.
Mm-hmm.
And he trusts Bo Nix to either slide, keep the clock going, take the sack and slide, or complete it safely in bounds and keep the clock running, which he did. He ended up completing it for like 6 yards, and I think it set him up in the third and 2, which they didn't end up getting. But ultimately, that play right there to me, to put your rookie in that situation when you're trying to kill the clock and you're staring at Aaron Rodgers on the other side, and you know if you don't get this first down, okay, we're gonna have a long field goal attempt, but if we don't get that, we're giving him basically the ball at the 40-yard line with 1:30 and 2 timeouts. And that's exactly what happened. Now, I would like to see some things done differently, but that play right there, that 2nd and 8 or whatever it was, where they rolled Bo Nix out and allowed him to throw it in that situation, shows to me that Sean Payton has all the faith in the world in Bo Nix.
I believe it. Like, I did double check too that Sean Payton's worst year was 7-9, so that is pretty fucking impressive. I didn't know that. I agree with everything you said. I just didn't know if it came down to like playoff contention, would they?
The
pull
only
him?
way Bo Nix doesn't start is if he gets hurt.
Okay.
That's the only way, because Sean Payton's all in on him. He handpicked this kid. He wanted him. And, I mean, right now, Zach Wilson's listed as the number 3.
That makes sense.
So I don't think you're not going to Stidham, because Bo Nix isn't getting it done. We tried that last year, remember? And we saw little to no improvement over Russell Wilson.
No. I mean, Stidham's a journeyman at best.
So
he's like another Brandon
Yeah,
Hoyer.
I mean, if you were going to pull him for like Zach Wilson, I mean,
I feel it's 50-50 at that point.
you're just, like I said, you would have to be like kind of desperate. Like he would have to really be showing you that he just ain't it.
Yeah.
And he's just not ready. And you're trying to preserve him and preserve his psyche and try to keep him, in line to hopefully improve over the offseason. I don't see that happening. I don't think Bo Nix is that guy. Like, I think Bo Nix is fine. I don't think Bo's been the problem. Now, has the game moved too quick for him at times? Yeah. Does he make some throws that you're like, ooh, that's a rookie? Yeah, but he's a rookie. He didn't outduel Aaron Rodgers by any means, right? Aaron Rodgers threw for 225 yards and no touchdowns.
Right.
So, and a lot of those yards were like big chunk plays that came up, and then they got nothing after him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outside of the one pass interference penalty that got them down inside the 5-yard line in the first half, the Jets couldn't move the ball either. And a lot of that was because the Broncos defense is that good, and also a lot of it was the weather. So I'm looking forward to it. It's supposed to be like 80 and sunny in Denver on Sunday when the Raiders come to town.
Okay.
And we got the throwback unis. And
which throwbacks?
The orange, the old Elway, orange and blue.
With the horse coming through the D?
Yeah.
Sounds funny to say that, but okay.
Yep. The horse D.
The horse D.
So we got the throwbacks. Listen, the losing streak to the Raiders ends Sunday. The Broncos are going to 3-2.
Well,
and we're going to be, listen, I don't think we're going to challenge Kansas City for the division, but I think it's going to be at some point this year. I think people are going to notice. They're going to go, oh shit, like, yeah, this Broncos team, they might not be it right now, but when you look at who they have under contract and how much cap space they're going to have next year, and what they're going to be able to do now that they're going to be out from the disaster that was Russell Wilson, yeah, this team is going to be serious, and they're going to compete.
I think there's something to that, which smart on them too, and like again, that's a credit to Sean Payton because I know Sean Payton was a big part of that. I thought that they were still a year out. I still had them in third place, but then the Chargers are banged up. Justin Herbert's banged up. I think the Chargers have lost almost every one of their wide receivers.
What else is new?
That was like all the receivers were already backups, so they all got hurt. It's been just a mess in LA. To see Justin Herbert, who's like Mr. No Reaction, I've seen him smash his helmet off the ground many times on the sideline, just in 4 weeks of the season, which I've never seen from him before.
Oh, they got
Any
the
of
new
the year.
coach. They thought everything was going to be different. And don't get me wrong,
Maybe him and Harbaugh don't get along. I don't know.
Staley was a boob,
Still, it was a jackass, man. He was stupid.
but not for nothing. I don't really have that much faith in Harbaugh either.
I don't either. Harbaugh loves things like Colin Kaepernick, so it makes me question his judgment. Like,
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm a huge Cap guy. I'm like, I don't like you.
I mean,
Like
it worked for like
2 years.
a year, not even a year and a half. Because you remember the first year when they went to the Super Bowl with Cap in 12, they were 7-0 with Alex Smith when he got hurt, and then they benched him and
Cap
they gave
just caught fire.
and Cap. They just never went back. They did Alex Smith pretty dirty that year, but
Yeah, so
whatever.
did the Chiefs.
Alex Smith's been done dirty a few times.
And then you see his leg. They're
Yeah.
like, nice retirement gift. His leg's like a mutant leg.
Yeah. Hey, nice leg. It looks like a fucking hockey stick. Sweet dude.
Splintered hockey stick.
Yeah.
But then speaking on fractured teams, and I don't think you're going to lose to the Raiders. I think the Raiders are basically code red at this point.
I mean,
everything's going wrong right now.
Perfect segue because Adam Schefter today announced that Devontae Adams was basically available. The Raiders were making him available for trade.
Yes,
for
and even
a
before
second
then,
round pick.
even before this, right? Even before today, mysteriously on Thursday, because I have Devontae Adams in one other fantasy league I have, he got
Mysterion.
Devontae hamstring, pulls up lame with a hamstring injury in practice. I'm like, AKA, I'm hurt until I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So magically, he's all of a sudden available for trade, and he's healthy, and he's doing the media rounds today. So I think he's traded. I think he's traded before this weekend for sure. Will he play the new team? No.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's
Gone by Thursday.
or I'm not going to say maybe I won't say this week, but I won't be surprised if a deal is being worked out and he's a healthy scratch on Sunday.
He's a healthy scratch anyway because he's a hamstring injury.
Oh, so he's not even playing anyway.
No.
Okay, so he's out of here.
No, he's all done. And another thing I don't like about player coaches, Antonio Pierce, who has an Instagram, went and liked an ESPN photo saying Devontae Adams will never play in the Raiders again. Liked by the head coach. It's like, are you a fucking 14-year-old girl? Don't do this shit.
That passive aggressive fucking
double tap that. Like, fuck you, dude. I know you were in the Giants, you beat the Patriots, everything like that, so I'm already a bit biased against you. But you big bitch. Like, you let these guys smoke cigars and don't have dunk contests in the locker room.
Yeah,
and then you're shocked.
After winning a game.
And then you're shocked when the team's like, yo, we suck. What's going on? It's like, I don't know, maybe fucking play the game instead of like having dick off time in the locker room with your friends.
Yeah, it's not. We first guessed this when they kept Antonio Pierce and they got.
I said that was a horrible decision.
We didn't love it. I was hopeful for them in a way because I like AP. But you and I are both we were both skeptical from the jump because we know how these things work out.
It never works.
And not only that, but we know how they work out in Oakland. Or the Raiders. Like, we know how it works out for them. It doesn't. They're going to lose. Like, Max Crosby's going to be the next guy out the door.
Max Crosby might be the next head coach at this point. I don't know.
He might be.
They might say play a coach. Go in.
Might make the most sense. I mean, what the fuck? Like, he's the only guy that can wreck a game for anybody. He's the only guy that could come into Denver and wreck the game to the point where, like, it could actually cost us the game. Other than that, like, if they contain Max Crosby, because that's the one thing we haven't done during this losing streak to the Raiders is contain Max Crosby. Every fucking time we lose them, Max makes a play or two or three and just completely ruins a game for us. Kills drives, just makes our lives miserable. I mean, at this point, though, like, what are they playing for?
I don't know.
The writing is obviously on the wall in the locker room there. The Raiders they're a rudderless ship at this point.
Awful.
I think AP knows it. You mean you're jettisoning your best player in Devontae Adams,
who was ready to leave last year.
He wants to go to I think he goes to the Jets. I think that is where he's going to ultimately land because it makes the most sense to go pair him up with Rodgers and Wilson.
The only reason I said Buffalo is because Vegas had Jets number 1 and like number 2 is Kansas City, and all of a sudden Buffalo skyrocketed to number 2. And I was like, there's something there. Like, they know someone made a call from Buffalo. And that would be deadly with Josh Allen. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh, if he goes to Buffalo, that would be, yeah. that'd be better than having Stephon Diggs.
Well, 100%.
For the Bills, I mean.
100%.
I just wanted to point out too one thing about the Broncos Jets game.
I'm listening.
Brees Hall,
The running back did nothing.
10 rushes, 4 yards.
Dude, he averaged 0.4 yards a rush.
Again,
0.4.
That's the dominance of this Broncos defense. So that's why, and again, with no Josh Jacobs, no Devontae Adams, like if Aaron Rodgers couldn't move the ball against this defense, what's Gardner Minshew going to do? Or Aiden O'Connell? Again, the Raiders are a rudderless ship. I think the Broncos are going to dunk on them. I think it's a wrap. I think this is going to finally break the curse of the Raiders for the last 4 years. And we're going to be out from underneath it, and it's going to turn a new page in Denver. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to be the start of a win streak that is going to get me very, very close to hitting that 10 win bet that I put down preseason. So, but the Raiders are just, I don't know. Devontae Adams, whether he ends up in Buffalo, Minnesota, or the Jets, I think honestly Minnesota would be the best case scenario for the Raiders because you get them out of conference. Not that the Raiders are going to be competing in the playoffs anytime soon.
I don't think the Raiders care.
You know what? Now that I say that out loud, I don't think it matters.
I don't think they trade him to the Chiefs or Broncos. That's it.
He's not getting traded in division. That's
No.
about the only thing that's off limits at this point.
If the Raiders trade him to the Chargers, I would not be shocked, to be honest with you. I feel like those two teams have no respect for each other because they just don't think of each other as rivals, even though they're in the same division.
They're just like, yeah, we all suck, so
They're
fuck
like,
it.
They're like, we're both from L.A. They're like, you're in Vegas now. Whatever. Like, you know what I mean? They forget.
We used to be from L.A.
Yeah, they're like, we're still L.A. We're L.A. LV Raiders.
Yeah.
But I don't think they go to the Chiefs. I don't think he goes to the Broncos, but literally any of the teams on the table. And if you're a Patriots fan saying you want Devontae Adams, I want you to seriously look in the mirror and say, why would anybody want this deal? Why would the Patriots want this? Why would Devontae want this?
What? No.
Nobody
God,
wants
no.
this. And if
There's
you
no
want
way. There's no way in hell Devontae's going to the Patriots.
If you want it, there's something wrong with you.
Why would you want to? What in what world?
Desperation.
Yeah, but that doesn't even desperation. Devontae Adams does not add to your win-loss total in New England.
You're 100% correct. People are in a Madden world where they're like, that's a new guy I can press X and throw it to. And
Right.
It's like, dude, shut the fuck
Oh, he'll
up.
get open. Like, yeah, but it doesn't matter if Brisket can't get him there.
It doesn't matter if Jacoby Brissett is on his 19th sack of the game.
And it's not like you have Bill Belichick sitting there being like, and he makes that move, and you're like, oh shit, like this is big now. Like, because if Bill Belichick makes that move, now I'm raising my eyebrows and I'm going, wait, what has he got up his sleeve? What is he thinking? What is he doing? Because I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But with Gerard Mayo and the current regime in there, dude, yeah, go ahead. Trade for Devontae. You know why? Because it keeps him away from Kansas City. It keeps him away from the Bills. It keeps him away from teams that I'm going to have to play in the playoffs, either maybe not this year, but definitely next year.
Joey, I'm going to apologize in advance when we go off air.
Oh?
Because apparently, according to CNN, 86% of America thinks Vance is destroying walls in this debate. And I guess 31 minutes ago, J.D. Vance, real-time, fact-checked CBS fact-checking live on air.
Told you.
So I'm like, I feel bad because we're doing the show and Joey's going to be like, fuck, I missed all this fact.
No, I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it after. It's fine. I'm not. It's a debate. It's not like it's a live sporting event. I already knew J.D. Vance was going to win.
I know.
And don't get me wrong. Like the media was already setting the table and lowering the bar for the expectations for Tim Walz by saying like, oh, he's nervous. He's not a good debater.
But on the surface, he looks calm and ready.
Yeah.
To drop bombs.
Like, oh, he told Kamala he's worried he's going to let her down. Like, don't worry. Don't worry about it. Like J.D. Vance was going to dunk on him like I said he was going to.
Why do we give these people? I hated that. I hate when anybody says an excuse for anything, even political. It's not a fucking game. They're not going out there. It's like, oh, Biden had the flu. It's like, bro, he's 89. Oh, he's gonna get a flu walking by a classroom of children. He's gonna catch something.
Did you see when they asked him about the strikes in Yemen the other day, and he was like, yeah, I agree with the labor union, and they got to get a deal done, and this and that, and they're like, no, we're not those, not the shipping port strike, you fucking doofus.
Yeah, he
the airstrikes in Yemen, you fucking clown. He's just,
and then he goes,
so fucking.
He goes, I was on the phone, and then they were like, don't you think it would be better if you go there, like physically? And as he's walking away, he's like, phone call. And I'm like, he knows what a phone is. He's saying, like, shouldn't you have been in person, like, doing something? And Biden's like, as you walk out the door, I love, like, the old man shuffle out the door. It's like, so far worse. Everyone knows he's
remember a year ago when everybody tried to tell us that he wasn't suffering from dementia?
No, I mean, as soon as Kamala took over to run the rest of the race, she openly admitted, we all know this motherfucker's dead. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we got it.
No, she hasn't admitted it yet because they can't, because he's still technically running the country.
No, but she said the last 4 years have been horrible for Americans. I'm like,
That was you, lady.
I know.
That
but
was
she's
you.
Like, we're gonna right these wrongs. It's like, you're gonna right.
I love when Tim Walz came out the other day and he was like, America cannot afford 4 more years like we've just had. And it's like, bro, your fucking running mate is the reason why we can't afford 4 more years like we just had, you fucking idiot.
It's like those guys that just, like, you see, like, they have, like, a drink as they're watching the whole thing, like, where's this going to go? Because they're incriminating themselves.
It's like, ugh, this could get ugly.
I love the meme Donald Trump ads. This is not political. This is neither side taking. Of just, like, Kamala, like, we can't do 4 more years of this. And immediately cuts to, this ad is brought to you by Donald Trump.
Dude.
Makes me laugh.
All they have to, literally, her and Walz give them all the campaign ad material they need. They don't even have to produce anything. Like, if you were working for Trump's campaign ad team right now, you have the easiest job in the world. Mm-hmm. Just go find a soundbite or a video of Kamala saying something stupid and just say, Donald Trump endorses this.
I thought of today, like, when next time they ask Trump about the Iran situation, I already have pictured what he's going to say. Iran, I would have told them they would already be running. They would have already ran. It never would have happened. Like, you know exactly what he's going to say in advance. And he goes, I'd go to Iran and I'd say, here's a picture of your house. And they'd say, why, President Trump, you sent me a picture of your house? That's for you to figure out.
It's for me to know and you to figure out. I don't know. But the Trump team is winning. They're winning the meme wars right now. You know, like we talked about, like during the presidential debate we were on during that. And you got off and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? They're eating cats. And now, like, the fucking, like, the cats and, like, all, like, the combat gear with the AR-15s and the ducks and the tanks and, like, they're all, like, and, like, they're, like, you know, the MAGA hats on and shit. Like, that shit exploded.
So, it's funny how everyone
gone through, like, TikTok now and everything else.
Everyone shit all over him for being, like, so over the top about it. But then, as news came out from that city, they were like, listen, yeah, they interviewed some old-ass people, and the people were like, my dog's missing. And did Trump over-exaggerate like he always does? Yes.
Not really, because if you go back to March and you listen to the mayor of Springfield talking about it.
No, there's people, they showed, like, meetings, like, 2 weeks earlier, and the guy's like, yo, we're missing ducks and geese from the pond. I see this guy killing ducks and cooking them in, like, the park.
Yeah.
At the park grills.
Yeah.
And the guys, these are citizens of this town being like, we're going to stop this. And the police saying, there's nothing I can do. It's public property.
Yep.
And he's like, they're killing ducks. And like, these animated people. So, like, did Trump take it out of context to a degree? Yes, they're killing cats. They're killing.
Well, no,
but,
did you see the body cam video of the woman that they were like, what were you doing with that cat? She was like, eating it.
Yeah, but he gave it attention.
Exactly. He brought attention to an issue.
And it became a huge thing. And then everyone was like, we're just going to make fun of him forever for this. It lasted about a week. And then now everyone's like, you know, there's some truth to this. Maybe lay back on this. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things.
It's like, what do I always say? What's the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory? About 6 weeks.
Don't get me going with what's his name, Alex Jones, who's running in airports right up to people. I know who you are. And then some random guy, he's like, what?
I love the one of Alex Jones playing the clip of the video, the guy talking about the fluoride being added to the water and making the frogs like hermaphrodites and shit, and he's just like, ugh! He's like, you guys made fun of me for so long for this. They're turning the frogs gay, and it's like, they kind of were. And then this guy comes out and he's like, yeah, you know, we've been adding fluoride to the water and it's really fucking with the frogs. And like this, and then Alex Jones was like, I told you. I don't know what the significance of the frogs being gay was, but whatever.
It was something he had heard. That's why. And that he was told.
If you ever want to watch a fun Alex Jones thing, go watch him on Joe Rogan. Because Joe Rogan like makes him slow down and explain himself.
Joe is like, you realize you sound like a psychopath, right?
Joe Rogan did a great job with him.
Alex, he takes off his shirt, and Joe's like, "That's what I mean." Yeah. He's like, "This isn't normal talk for a
Saying
person."
it, Chief.
And then Alex Jones, of course, gets brought to court. Not a political thing. Gets brought to court. Sounds like an insane person at court. and then now is doing videos of him walking through airports, and he's like, they're watching me. It's like they're watching everybody, dude. They're making sure no one's a fucking terrorist in the airport. And then he runs up to a guy who's about to board a plane. He's like, I know you've been following me. And the guy's like, me, sir? Like, doesn't speak a word of English.
I think you have the wrong guy.
He 100% had the wrong guy, but
Yeah.
it makes me laugh.
But it's funny because he is a little bit unhinged and a little bit of a lunatic.
A little bit unhinged?
But he's right about it. Like, even Joe Rogan was like,
Dude, even a broken clock is right twice a
but
day.
Rogan, when they were going through all the shit that he was saying, and Rogan's like, guys were like fact checking, and they're like, oh shit, yeah, like look at this article from like NASA, and they're like, dude, what the fuck? And like they're like, how did you know? And he's like, I've been telling you, you gotta look it up. Just go look it up. Like, but Alex Jones's thing was like, he would tell you something ridiculous, and then be like, go look it up, and you're like, well, no, I'm not going to waste my time going looking up something that I'm pretty sure is fucking false. But then you come to find out, you're like, oh, shit, like 90% of their shit was true, or there was like some truth to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like, damn, like your delivery sucked, though. So, like, it's on you because you did nothing to make me feel like I wasn't wasting my time by looking this up.
And then he'll make those videos of him making a tinfoil hat and wearing it. I
Love
know
it.
I know it's supposed to be a joke.
It's a shtick, but I love it.
It never made him look better, though.
No. I don't think Alex Jones ever cared about his image, but
No, he doesn't.
I digest.
Or when he took a picture of himself losing weight and he just took a forward picture and he stepped like 3 steps back and took another picture and everyone's like, you just stepped back and put on self-tanner, you asshole. He's like, no, I lost 20 pounds. It's like, no,
I was on Hydroxycut.
I love when people are like Hydroxycut really works, and I was like, you realize that photo is like 2 hours in between each other, right?
Yeah.
People are like, no, that's like 3 months, and I'm like, no, these guys get paid to do this. They're actually ripped as fuck all the time.
Yep.
And then he really just ate 6 bags of like chips and ate like a hamburger.
Go watch Bigger, Faster, Stronger. They do a whole segment in that movie about like the ads that they do for those like fat loss things.
Yeah.
And like they interview like Christian Boving and like all these other like fitness models and like these guys. And you know, Christian's like, he's like, I mean, I take Hydroxycut. And they're like, but you also take a lot of other stuff. He's like, well, yeah. And they're like, you know, he's like, but if somebody wants to believe that the only thing I was taking to get to look like this was Hydroxycut,
And if they pay
he's
him,
like, that's on them. He's like, it's not my job to educate them that there's a litany of other things that you have to do in order to be a shredded, you know, bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But, and then they do the whole photo shoot with, I forget was it Mark Bell? Was the brother that led the documentary, the middle brother, the Bell brothers? It was Mark. Smelly, I can't. No, Mark Bell's he was the champion powerlifter. He was the youngest brother. The middle brother, I can't remember his name, and then the oldest brother that died ultimately ended up committing suicide.
I don't remember.
Which was really sad because in the video they talk about him. He's like dealing with his mental issues in the movie, and the brother he interviews it's the oldest brother. And they I think his name is Mad Dog. I can't remember his name. But he tried to get like in the WWF or WWE and all that, and like couldn't really crack that top level. You know, couldn't become a superstar. And he's talked about his suicide attempts and stuff like that, and like how he was in a better place, and he had his wife and everything else, and she was helping him through it, and they were working through it. And then you find out like, a couple years later, like he ultimately ended up overdosing, like intentionally overdosing on like sleeping pills or some shit, and ended up taking his own life, and it was really shitty. But the Bell brothers, it was the 3 of them, bigger, stronger, faster. It's one of the best documentaries you'll ever watch
all time.
because it's so informative, and it breaks it down to a point, like, and it shows you like it shows you all the positives and negatives, but basically shines a giant light on a very taboo subject, which is performance enhancing drugs. So a lot of people don't know. Like, a lot of people assume, like, I mean, I've worked at gyms. I've been in the gym for 20 years. People have asked me a million different things. Like, people want to know, like, when they see me and they watch me in the gym and I'm benching 475. And they're like, well, what are you taking? And I'm like, I don't know, vodka and pre-workout. Like, I've just been doing this for 20 years. Like, eventually my muscles matured to the point where they can handle this.
People
Now,
think you're on like gas and shit like that. People are just like, oh, you're just fucking juice. It's like,
Well,
no.
I've been accused of that for the last 15, 16, 17 years. Like, people just automatically assume because of my size and stature that I'm on something, because they don't realize
It's also changed your race several times too.
It has, yes. The Ron Brace aspect of things. I was once a 6'6" black guy, according to everybody at the Foxy Lady in
When
Providence.
you told me that, I was like, man, I wish I was there to be like, are you people the dumbest people of all time? Me being like
what year did Phil and Bethany get married? Do you remember what year that was?
2015, 2014.
Had to have been earlier than that.
No.
Oh no, it was Sean and Lucy's. Sean and Lucy.
Oh, Sean and Lucy was
2010.
I think it was like 2011 or
It
2012.
was 10 or 11.
Something like that, yeah.
Trying to-
September 17th.
It had to have been 2011 because it was right after the Patriots beat the Colts in Peyton's last full season as a Colt.
Hold on.
So anyway, it was that year. It was right around that year. It had to have been 10, 11.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was when I became Ron Brace for a night.
Like, people like so dumb. Ron Brace, Boston College defensive lineman graduate.
From Springfield.
On the Patriots.
R.I.P.
On the Patriots, also dead. No, he's not dead.
Yeah, Ron Brace is.
He died too.
Yeah, years ago from a heart condition.
Shit. Big, not like a light-skinned black guy, full on like black guy. Joey
Like
looks
Wesley Snipes.
Yes, Joey looks nothing like this man. They're like, that's Ron Brace. It's like that. You are the dumbest people of all time.
He died 2016.
That was the year I got married. So
Yeah,
so,
at the age of 29.
so I was like, if I told you back then, I said if
He was
they
6'3", sorry. He was 6'3".
still. If they would have confused you with Mike Wright, who was a white defensive tackle on the Patriots at that time, I'd have been like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Big white guy, he's wearing a bunch of football stuff maybe. No. The wrong race, the wrong just everything. That's him.
I mean, I was about his weight. He was listed at 330. I was probably like 315. So, I'm 6. He's listed at 6'3". I'm 6'3". So it was pretty close, in height and weight. But the melatonin levels...
I'm going to make a Spider-Man picture of you, and like the Spider-Man meme of you and Ron Brace pointing at each other.
Oh, my God,
And
dude.
everyone's going to be like, yo, they don't look anything alike. Like, yes, they do. They're
Dude.
exactly the same.
And, like, it's crazy to me that in 2010, when smartphones were, like, not, like...
Everyone still had them. Everyone still had the iPhone.
They were pretty new, and it wasn't as easy to, like, Google. Like, you didn't have... It wasn't like it is now.
No, it's even easier now.
Because I remember in, like, 2009, I
was like
still
3G.
had like a flip open full keyboard phone.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were there, but they weren't where they're at now. Like the internet wasn't like at your fingertips. But nobody Googled Ron Brace and was like 6'3" black guy.
Stupid.
This is a white guy.
Stupid.
And I mean, people are taking pictures with me, signing autographs on napkins. It's a great story. I'll have to tell it one night, like if people care to hear it that haven't heard it before.
Stupid.
But it is a good story. It's a very funny story. I mean, I've never... It's the greatest heist you've never read about. Joey Fats as Ron Brace. It's like Tom Cruise is the Last Samurai.
Well, actually, a pretty good movie. I know the ridiculousness of it.
I know. But back to the Bigger, Faster, Stronger documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Go and watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it because it is absolutely fantastic, and it sheds a great light in a very easy to understand and digest way on performance enhancing drugs and the dangers or the lack thereof of using them.
All right, I'm gonna squirrel this for a second because it brought my mind to this.
Go ahead.
Remember Super Size Me, right?
Of course.
Morgan Spurlock, he
Yeah.
died and whatever it was, like 8 months ago, a few months ago.
Yeah, it was fairly recent, right?
Yeah. So his wife comes out and like ruins his whole career post death.
Oh no.
You didn't hear about what
No.
happened? She's like all of his documentaries are bullshit. Like all those food ones, she said he was like a raging alcoholic and he was drinking excessively and masking it by saying it was only the fast food.
Oh.
So basically that supersized documentary, you can just take it and throw it right out the window because she said like, yes, he was eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but he was also going home and just chugging alcohol for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
'Cause-
that'll do it.
And then that's why because they said even when you're watching it, they showed something and they said like the proof is in the documentary itself because he goes to the doctor and he's like, your fucking liver is like bad. And he's like, wow, McDonald's.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the guy was like, yo, your liver enzymes are horrible. And the guy's like, I would like whatever you're doing for a diet. He goes, I would recommend stopping like now. And the guy's like, okay. And he's like, shame on you, McDonald's. And the wife was like, it was him. Like, he started drinking. I guess his dad got him into drinking at 12.
Jesus Christ.
And by the time he was 14, he was having like multiple like drinks a day. And this is all well known within the family. She goes, we all knew it. Like, it was like he was in and out of
I
rehab.
don't think I was even
nonstop.
interested in drinking at 14.
Yeah, but I don't know was upbringing, where he was born or anything like that.
I
But
didn't
if
really
it-
start
if
drinking
his-
until college.
If his dad gets him drinking at 12,
Yeah, like a couple high school parties. You know, we had some drinks. If we weren't allowed to leave. We had to stay, but
yeah.
couldn't drive home. But like, it was like twice, maybe. I don't know. It was just, it's
But it was crazy to me that like that whole all his whole documenting life.
It kind of makes sense though now that you look at it, because you're like, all right, because like enough for nothing. I had McDonald's today. I had a double quarter pounder with cheese, and let me tell you, bro, that might be one of the best cheeseburgers I've ever had.
Yeah,
Dude.
I can't do it.
It fucking slapped. Like and I'm talking, like it was on level with like some of the better restaurants I've been to. In terms of how I like what I like in a cheeseburger, which is simplicity. Because I think, more is less when it comes to my burgers. I don't need, bacon, onion rings, mounds of blue cheese, and, bacon jam aiolis and all that kind of shit. Like, nope, man, just burger, bun, cheese, and that's it. Like, I don't even need, like, I don't even want, like, crazy veggies. Maybe some lettuce and onion. That's about it.
I don't know. I can't do fast food burgers anymore ever.
But I'll tell you what, bro. That burger I had today, that's the best. I'm so inclined. Like, I almost want to go back tomorrow because it was so good.
Don't.
I just did it today because I was in a pinch and I just needed calories.
Yeah.
Because I skipped lunch and I like the way my day lined up. I didn't have time to eat, like sit down and eat. So I was just like, fuck it. Like here's 1,000 calories real quick. Like I just came from the gym. I didn't have a shake. Like I was in need of some sustenance, and I know it's not great for you, but at the end of the day, fuel's fuel. So,
I never. Oh.
not all fuels are created equal, but I needed something. So I went and I just grabbed a double quarter pounder, number 2, or whatever, number 3, medium with a Coke. And I got a spicy McChicken and a 6-piece nuggie.
Damn.
And that was my lunch and kind of my dinner, too, because I didn't eat dinner, which also is working against me again because now I'm going to end up in the same spot I was this afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. I can make up for that tomorrow morning with breakfast. But neither here nor there. But I'm like almost inclined to go get another double cheeseburger, like another quarter pounder with cheese tomorrow.
Don't.
Dude, it was so good. I'm telling you.
You know what? You'll go back tomorrow. You'll get it. It'll taste completely different.
I
You'll be
know.
like,
That's
"Yo,
the only.
it's
That's the
over."
only thing. But I will tell you what. When McDonald's is on point, bro, that shit slaps.
I think it's also like a timing of the day. Like you need food. Like you're dehydrated. You're craving something, and you get
I was
something.
definitely not dehydrated.
Well, you know what I mean. Like it's just like a mixture of things, and you taste something that's really good, and then you have it again, and it's.
I haven't had
like,
alcohol in 9 days.
Oh well, that's good. That's good for you.
But I've got to, I'm on my strength block again. I'm trying to do big
You're going
things.
for vacation, right? That's why.
Maybe February, but it's just to the point where I'm trying to accomplish some things in the gym that I've never accomplished before,
Okay.
and alcohol was getting in the way.
Okay.
So
So cutting it out. It's a good thing.
like I weighed in at 299 today. I haven't been under 300 in a very long time.
I'm trying to get back into the I'm trying to get back to the teens. 215
After this,
takes a long time.
after I'm done with this next like 8 weeks of like strength training, where I'm really not worried about what I eat, I think my goal is going to be get back down to like 275.
That'd be fantastic.
I think that's a good weight for me.
See, you see, speaking of guys losing all the weight, see Dave Bautista
Dude.
lost 70 pounds.
Yeah. He was
And-
a big boy, too.
And he's like, what do you weigh right now? He's like, I weigh 225.
yeah.
And everyone's like, and he goes, people see me, they send me messages on Instagram, and he goes, everyone's like, are you sick? You have cancer? He's like, no. He's like, I'm 225 because I'm 6'4", 6'5". He goes, so I look like a rail.
Yeah, he's just tall.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like also he goes, I'm 50. He goes, I can't keep that weight on my whole life.
Right. That's the other thing, too, is like I'm getting to a point now in my life where I'm like, all right, like carrying around 300 pounds is fun, but at some point I'm going to have to knock this shit off.
Oh yeah, of course, because
Yeah.
you worry about longevity, you worry about
Yeah.
your health, you worry about what's going on inside.
And not only that, but like what it does to your knees and your joints and your hips and everything
Oh my
else.
god,
It's
of
just like,
course.
it's immense, but neither here nor there. Nobody cares.
Oh, people care. People like hearing that shit.
Well, I mean, everybody's got different fitness goals, right?
Yeah,
Like
of
that's the
course.
thing. Everybody works out. Everybody's got different goals. My goal is to be as big and strong as I can humanly possibly be, until my body tells me it doesn't want to do that anymore.
Oh.
And I'm coming up on. I'll be 40 in January. I figure I've got 2, maybe 3 more years left of being able to really like get after it at like and I'm talking like heavy weights. Like obviously my goal. My goal is to hit 500 on the bench. So that's my goal for this fall. I topped out at 475 in the spring. I basically took the summer off to recover and treat myself and kind of just maintain. And now next week I start my next strength block, and hopefully I'll be able to hit that number. And if I do, great. If I don't, it gave me something to go for. And it's the point. And I'm not going to stop till I get there. So I'm figuring I maybe got 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 more years. Given how my shoulders feel, my elbows, the tendonitis, the things that are starting to, pop up that's never been there before. And there's ways around it. I could, like I said, taking better care of my body, not drinking every day, not eating McDonald's. But I don't remember the last time I had McDonald's. I think the last time I had McDonald's was last December.
As long as it's not continuous, you're fine.
Right.
If you go back tomorrow and be like, don't do
one of anything won't kill you.
No.
Except a bullet.
Maybe.
Or a cyanide pill, depending on the dose. But there's very few things in life where one of which will kill you. So, those are my goals. That's where I'm at with it. And everybody's goals are different. Some people just want to go to the gym just to feel good. They don't really care about how they look or what their numbers are, and that's fine. It's all. Everybody's got different. They're doing it for different reasons. Like my big thing for this summer, I took off for chest, was pull-ups. Like I've never been able to do pull-ups because I've been such a big dude.
I hate pull-ups.
And I've been heavy, so doing pull-ups was really hard. So I worked hard on doing pull-ups. So I finally was able to hit 10 wide grip pull-ups.
Yeah.
At 305 or 307 pounds, whatever I was that day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool.
That's great. I'm like,
that was a goal. So I set that goal for myself for the summer. I did it. Now I'm like, okay, now my goal shifts to something different.
That's good to have like short-term goals like that
because
it's better than.
And not for nothing, but like I got into a rut. When I was done playing football and before I got my current job, I was in a rut. Like 2017, 18, 19 even. I was just going to the gym to go through and I was just going through the motions.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't really I wasn't pushing myself. I didn't have football, so I didn't really have a reason to lift anymore.
Yep.
Like I wasn't competing in anything. I didn't have something to push me.
Yeah.
So I would just go and I'd go through the motions. It's kind of like, okay, I guess I'll do this today. And I would do what I'd always been doing, but I wasn't making any progress. I was basically just stagnant for a couple of years. Then COVID hit and the gyms closed, and I was like, well, this is great. I was like, I can't go to the gym now even if I want to.
I know.
So I didn't have to feel guilty about it.
I reset the clock on everybody.
Yep. And then like a year after the gyms opened back up is when I kind of fell back in love with lifting. And then my wife got into it, and she wanted to learn how to weight train. She wanted to stop being just a cardio bunny and learn how to actually get after the weights and do stuff. So that kind of reinvigorated me, teaching somebody how to do it. And then all of a sudden it got me back into it. And now I'm here, and now I'm pushing myself to a point where I didn't even know was possible 4 years ago.
Right.
I knew I was capable of it with the right circumstances, but I was at a point where I was like, I actually thought about just giving up on the gym and not going back to it. And just being like,
I do everything.
I'm good.
From
Like, why am I even doing this?
I have weights at home. I don't go at all anymore. I don't pay a membership.
Well, I mean, I still will, because even with like a home gym, I can't do. I'm too distracted. I have too much ADD. There's too many things here to distract me from doing it.
I think I do better at home.
Some people do, and again, it works for if it works for you, great. It doesn't work for me. If I'm at home and I'm trying to get a lift in, and my dog needs to go out, or the phone rings, or the mailman shows up, or
it's different because I have the kids now, so my clock internally goes around them. So anytime I can cut corners and save time, it's like I can save 30 minutes total by not
driving, right?
You know what I mean?
I get
and that
that.
30 minutes is a whole cardio set.
I don't have that problem.
So
I don't have kids. I don't have
why.
responsibilities really. Like I just have me. My responsibilities to my job and my wife, and that's it.
Yeah.
So during the day, it's like I have no reason not to be able to go, and I like going. I do, and like I've fallen back in love with it. Like I said a couple of years ago, and now I'm pushing my body to a point where I've never pushed it before. So I'm excited. I'm hoping for it. I mean, I know everybody who follows me on social media will know the day I do it.
Yeah.
And it'll be a glorious day. I can promise you that. And then, but the thing is, I know myself too. Like I'll hit 500 and then I'll say, well, I could probably hit 525. I could probably hit 550.
That was the max of Aaron Donald.
What, 525?
No, 515. 515?
515 was Aaron Donald's max?
Yeah.
I'm going to break that. You just gave me a number to shoot for.
Because him and DK Metcalf did an interview last year, obviously before he retired. And they were doing like competitions of like which one can do better. And the guy was like, I want to see you guys do a bench competition. And DK's like, man, Aaron can't do what I can, because he thought he was going to do like 225 and he was going to do like
50 reps or something.
50, exactly something ridiculous. And then Aaron's like, they're like, Aaron, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to do like max bench. And the guy's like, oh, what's the max you can bench? And he goes like, I think he said 515. And DK was like he looked at him like, oh shit.
DK's probably like, yeah, I get 385.
Yeah, I'm telling you, DK's probably like 350. Like that's like, it looks like the range he's in, which is incredibly impressive anyway.
Which, I mean, when you break down the numbers of like what percentage of males can actually bench press like over 315, it's incredibly small.
For me, it's 300 and over is a whole different level. 200 and under
for
is
anybody
like
it is. I mean, I get up, even for me, like my warm-up sets are 225.
I can't do 300 anymore. There's no way. If I go in there tomorrow, there's no way. 225 I can still do. 275 I can still do. I would struggle beyond 275.
At the end of my last strength set in the spring, my last strength block, I was hitting 315 for 10 if I wanted to.
Damn.
And I only stopped at 10 because I wasn't pushing for reps. So that was kind of where I was at with it. And then I was able to put 475 up for one. And then I was, the next couple times I went in, I was like, all right, I'm going to go for 500 today. Maybe today's the day I'll go for 500. I'll see how 475 feels. And then maybe I'll go for 5. And I was never able to kind of capture that. It was towards the very end of it, too. I think the second to last week of my block, I hit 475. And then the next two times I went in, I just went into just a bench. That was it. Like, that was my chest day. I wasn't doing anything else. I just went into bench. And I couldn't quite get it. Got out of the groove, used the wrong bar, did a couple of stupid things, rookie mistakes, things I learned from that I'll take for this next block. Yeah. And, I'm like no beacon of knowledge when it comes to fitness either. Like, I'm just doing all this basically because I've been doing it for a long time. I know how to do it. Like, I know what needs to be done, and I kind of know how to do it. But, like, I'm not, like some of my buddies like that, I train with that have done this. And they're like, all right, well, this is your day. This is what you're doing. Then you got to do it this day, and you got to do this, and they have everything like meticulously planned out. I just kind of go in and fucking wing it, and I'm like, all right, like I know
that's what I did.
I know how to get stronger. I've done it before, so I'm gonna go do it. And it's trial by error, and I've been doing it for a long time.
If you woke up the next day, and you were like your arms hurt to move, or your back hurts to move, or your chest hurts to move, you did something right because that's those muscle fibers ripping and repairing. And you're like, you did something right. And you're like, and it takes you a few days to recover. You did something right.
Yeah.
Because that was like you're putting strain. You're building yourself. You did something harder than what you normally do. So.
Correct. And that's pushing yourself past the limit. And, you want to do that, but also there's a fine line to it too.
Yeah, you can't fucking kill yourself doing it.
Because every single time I've gotten hurt, it's because I didn't give my body a break. So I've broken it down into like 8-week periods. So I trained, I went heavy as shit on chest for 8 weeks. And then I took 8 weeks off. And I think this actually is going to end up being 9 weeks off from like heavy benching. And now I'll do it for another 8 weeks. And then I'll take another 8 weeks off. And then I'll start again in the spring. And I'll kind of just do that on like a rotation. Because the last few times I just kept gunning for a number. And I just kept trying to see how much more I could add and how much more I could bench. And every time I did that, I would end up with like, my elbow kind of hurts. And I'd get some elbow wraps or some elbow sleeves. And be like, it's elbow pain. No, it's bicep tendonitis. And I'm not listening to my body. And next thing you know, bicep tendonitis turns into now I'm unintentionally favoring one side. Next thing you know, I tear a pec.
Yeah, I remember that. Holy
and
shit,
I've done that twice. And it was all because of overtraining. And, some people will say, C.T. Fletcher famously said, fuck your overtraining. There's no such thing, only undereating and undersleeping. While that may be true, I was also doing those things. So I was overtraining, also undersleeping, and undereating. Well, maybe not undereating, but definitely undersleeping.
Oh, that would be me in all my categories.
And overdrinking, and so there was a lot that went into it. But I've learned from that stuff now. So now I'm like a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and you can't predict injury. Like sometimes it just shit happens, and it is what it is. But I think I've got it pretty well in focus now of what I need to do in order to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm just, it's gonna happen for me at some point. Knock on wood, I don't get hurt. And but that's out of my. I mean, while it's in my control, it's also out of my control. I can't tell. If that one last rep, like, hey, my chest feels good, and then you do that one last rep, and you just kind of get out of the groove a little bit, and you flex it wrong.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, like, you want to also go to exhaustion too, or go to failure as well.
Sometimes, depending on the day, yeah. Sometimes I very rarely go to failure or exhaustion, if you will. Like, I haven't done, not on chest anyway. I haven't gone over, like, outside of one particular program that I run. I think 12 reps is my max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone way past that. Like,
I mean, I can do more than that.
Of course,
but
I know
don't.
you can.
But when I'm in those certain programs, like when I do like my pyramid program, my twice a week for 10 weeks chest program, it's 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 3 bench.
wow, you're doing all those?
Yeah. So that's like my high volume training sets.
Damn.
And then my lower ones, when I'm training for strength, I don't, even on my warm up sets, I don't go over 5 reps.
12, 10,
8, 6, 5, 3.
6 sets.
Yes.
No warm-up set.
All pyramiding up
Oh, going up.
in weight.
You don't go back down at all?
I've gone back down the other side.
Well,
You
you can go all the way up, and then after 12, just drop down to like 6? Or no?
I've usually gone, yeah. So you start with 12, and it's usually about like, that's usually like 245, 265, somewhere in there. Then 275 for 10, then 315 for 8, then 335 for 6, and then usually like 365 for 5, and then usually it's like 40. The goal is to get 405 for the triple, like to end there.
God damn.
And I think 385 is my best triple so far.
God damn.
So
Okay.
I'm like still coming up short, but I haven't run that program in a long time.
I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of fucking sets.
It is, and it's high
Shit.
volume, but that's like a hypertrophy. Like you're growing your chest, like you're trying to get it. You're adding size, not necessarily strength.
Yeah.
You're adding volume and size and shape to it. So that's more of a bodybuilding thing. Whereas like when I do my strength sets, I don't do anything more than 5 reps.
Gotcha.
So it's everything. I'll do 8, 9, 10 sets sometimes, all 3 to 5 reps.
Jesus Christ.
But it
Okay.
just depends on the day, and depends how I feel. And I've gotten to a point where I just kind of listen to what my body's telling me. And again, I'm not an expert on this. I don't have like
Oh, God.
any
no,
like
you don't pretend
science,
to be.
I don't have any like professional training experience or anything. I'm just doing this all by basically what I've learned in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And if it all comes together and it works out, great. If I can bench 500, I'll be one of, I don't know what, there was 2,500 guys in the country across all federations that benched over 500 in 2022. And that was just in ranked meets. So, probably figured the guys that are competing in that, maybe, triple that? Quadruple that?
It is estimated on Earth, 1 in every 10,000 people can bench 500 pounds. 1 in every 10,000. So that's 1%.
So you're in the top one. Right.
You're in the top 1% of the world.
Yeah. And then when you get to 550, that goes down to like the 1/10%.
Yeah, it gets a crazy.
It goes. I have a chart actually that I could show you. It's pretty wild, but it only ranks guys that are in ranked, that are in actual sanctioned meets, I should say. So like Julius Maddox is the only guy in the country that can bench over 700 right now,
Jesus Christ.
and he is.
But it was all that shit on them. Like
No, that's raw.
Okay.
I'm talking strictly raw bench, no slingshots, no suits, no nothing. I want straight raw. The only thing you're allowed in a raw bench that's legal are elbow wraps and wrist wraps.
I see the whole elbow thing, the chest thing.
Yeah, the slingshot
see-
thing, like it's,
Yeah, the slingshot.
and then the suit, the bench suit
And
is.
I was like, and then they're strapping the guy to the bench. I'm like, what the fuck? What
Yeah.
are we doing here? This is like a medical procedure.
I mean, it's pretty nuts though. But those are the guys that are benching like 1,000 pounds. That's like
Yes.
the Scott Mendelsons of the world.
But Joey, hey,
And the range
I
of
am
motion
not-
is like 3 inches.
dude, that is. If I'm a woman, I'm like, that's a lot for 3. I'm like, this is not 3 inches.
But I'm like,
that's
but at the same time, to move 1,000 pounds,
to hold
3
1,000
inches?
pounds, crazy. More power to you. That's amazing. But I see the guy doing that. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
It makes me laugh because I thought it moved maybe a half an inch. And then everyone's like, world record. And I'm like, I thought he just jiggled a little bit. I didn't think he even moved it. I think he just like.
That's what I'm
shook
saying. Well, the whole idea with powerlifting, and that's why I don't really like the whole powerlifting thing, is that I don't like to have. I like to have, want to have at least like a somewhat of a full rep, if you will.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or it looks like it's a full rep, because you know what I mean. Like, you're obviously going to cheat. You're going to try not cheat, but you're going to try to minimize the travel of the bar. Like, that's what you're minimizing the range of motion. So you grip it a little bit wider, you puff your chest up, you suck the air into your chest, you push it up, you arch your back, which is all legal and fine, and that's how you bench big weight. But at the same time, I don't know, like the guys that do like those 1,000 pounds, like you said, like they move it, it's impressive because they're able to hold it there, move it down, and then move it back up.
Wow, I had no idea Julius Maddox was this young.
Yeah, he's 6'3", like 400-something pounds too.
He's
like
6'4", 425. He's only 36.
Yeah, he's a couple years younger than me. But look at how many guys, look at all the guys that are the strongest, that are the biggest benchers. They're all in their mid-late 30s.
They have to be.
Because your muscle maturity doesn't get there. You don't get muscle. You need muscle maturity in order to move that much weight.
Holy shit.
It's pretty wild. Like, when you break it down, it's actually pretty fascinating shit.
Oh, I know we got really sidetracked and went down this whole thing of like weightlifting and bodybuilding and stuff like that, and we went to documentaries.
Well, I mean,
well.
Olympia's coming up, or is it this weekend? Or no, it's the end of this month. It's the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
The Olympia's coming up, and I love the Olympia. I think it's one of the funnest things ever. Like, and I love the
I don't know if Arnold's gonna go out this year though.
No.
He hasn't been doing well. They said his heart is not great.
I mean, he's got to be in his 80s now, right?
No, I think he's like 75.
Is he that young? I thought he was pushing 80.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
How old Sly?
Sly is 80. He just turned 77. Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Yeah, Sly's 78.
Sly's gonna turn 79 when? Oh no, he just turned 78. They're only a year difference.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've been on this like Sly Stallone binge recently, of like early part of his career, how he was homeless. I
don't know why, but I've watched Demolition Man probably like a dozen times in the last 3 months.
That movie
4
is
months.
like half come true.
It just keeps coming on. Well, it's a fucking documentary at this point, but it just keeps coming on TV, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll watch this one again.
Someone explained the seashells like on a social media thing, and I forgot to watch it. And I went to search for it, and I can't find it because that's obviously the whole bathroom thing. He's like, use toilet paper, use the shells, and he's like, I just scoop my ass, and they're like, no. And I was like, and someone's like, you clamp it, and I was like, no, that can't be how it works. I'm like, that's not sanitary at all.
I just love when he's swearing and like the little thing on the wall, just like, it's like, you've been docked 1 credit. Here is your violation.
Yeah.
He's just like, poosh.
$100 fine. He's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, mother, asshole, bitch. He just says every word possible.
Yeah.
And the commissioner, my word. And just like watching him.
And I love like Sandra Bullock's character is like such an airhead.
Yes.
And it's like, she does such a good job with it too. I don't know, I love that movie. But who knew it was going to become a documentary?
Yeah, because they were all very woke in that movie.
Yeah.
Like even before woke was a thing.
Well, yeah, all the like fat moo wearing weirdos, all the beautiful people, if you will, that live up top, and then you've got what was it, like Woody Harrelson that living in the sewer and shit.
Yeah.
And all the deplorables.
Yes.
That live under the sewer.
Literally
and you're
living
like,
in the sewer.
You're like, wow, yeah, like just like 1984, like this shit just keeps coming true. Like maybe Hollywood is onto something. I don't know.
Just as long as Blade Runner doesn't happen, I don't want that shit.
I mean,
replicants and like cyborgs and shit.
We're fast tracking ourselves onto fucking Terminator 2, like onto Skynet.
Oh
so
my god, don't get me with AI, man. That AI,
that's a whole nother show.
The AI and then Boston Dynamic wanted to integrate AI with their fucking robots, and I was like, that is literally Terminator.
Like,
I'm
you
like,
guys
stop doing this.
You guys know, like we know how this movie ends. It's not good for us.
I'm like, you're gonna give that machine who can run, sprint, jump, no like exhaustion ever. There's no exhaustion perk on it where it's like after this many steps you have to be tired. No, this thing will run until it explodes, and you're gonna give it AI so it can defend itself. So in case you try to shut it off, he's gonna be like, no, and kill you. I'm like, that's literally the beginning of Terminator. So don't do that.
Not cool, man. Not cool. All right, before we get out of here, we did the NFL, we did a little bit of MLB. It's Dega week, bro. I know you're not a big NASCAR guy.
I know. I feel so bad when you talk about NASCAR because I'm just like, I know shit about this.
Dude.
How's my pick for the championship?
Who did you pick? Kyle Larson?
Yeah.
He's still in it. Very much still in it.
Damn it.
Very much still alive. So, no, that's good.
Let's go, Kyle.
He's very much in it. I don't know if the betting odds for Dega are up yet.
I'll look at it right now.
I'm checking FanDuel as we
That's
speak.
what I go on. I don't trust anything else. I like FanDuel. I don't like DraftKings.
You know what? I did FanDuel for the first. That's the first one. This is the first app I used, and I'm fine with it. I don't need to go on anything else. Like, I wish they would put.
How come I can't?
I wish they would let me
Talladega?
edit my favorites. All right, so the Yellowwood 500. The odds are up. All right, so here we go. Let's
What
take
the
a
fuck
quick
did you
look.
say? Yellowwood 500.
The Yellowwood. YELLA.
What's it under? Is it under racing?
Motorsport. No, racing on FanDuel is horse racing.
Where do you have motorsport?
You got to go down to other sports. You know, it's where they do darts. Hold on, I'm gonna take a piss. You find it. I'm gonna look at these odds.
All sports, rugby, volleyball, other links. Motorsport. Oh, I finally found it. Oh shit, I didn't even know. All right, motorsport. I'm on the Yellowwood, not yellow, Yellowwood. YELLA Wood 500. The odds-on favorite is Joey Logano. 1,200 to 1 odds. Cody Ware, J.J. Yealy, B.J. McLeod, all 10,000 to 1. And Joey, who's your guy? You said Joey Logano? No, you didn't say Joey Logano.
William Byron's my go-to guy.
William Byron is your go-to guy. He's plus 17. Okay. Top 10 finish, top 5 finish. Wow, they don't give you, if you're picking a top 10 finish, Brad Keselowski, they're like, you have to pay us if you want to bet him. Like he's like guaranteed to finish top 10.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What if
well,
I parlayed it?
The funny thing about top 10 finishes, the funny thing about Talladega is nothing's guaranteed. So if you're gonna bet super speedways, if you're like a normal betting, like you're not a big better on NASCAR, my recommendation is always go to like the plus like 25 to 3,500 range on super speedways. So like right here at this point, I would cut it off. I'd go like Christopher Bell at plus 2,500. I'm sorry, Tyler Reddick at plus 2,400.
You love Tyler Reddick lately.
No, Ty Gibbs is my guy.
No, you said Reddick a lot lately too.
I don't really bet on Reddick. He's consistent, but he doesn't win a lot. If that makes sense.
No, I'll
But he runs up.
fuck it,
He
I'll
runs
take
up
that.
front. But like Ty Gibbs plus 3,300, Alex Bowman plus 3,400,
Ooh, I like this name, AJ Allmendinger.
AJ Allmendinger. Love that. I love AJ.
5,500.
If you want to go like deep in the thing, and here's the thing, Talladega is notorious for producing first-time winners. This is an absolute crapshoot. You could be running 10th with 2 laps to go or 15th with 2 laps to go, and all of a sudden you find yourself coming across the line first. So, like a guy like Zane Smith, plus 9,000. You throw $10 on him to win 900. And not for nothing, but Zane Smith has just as good a shot as pretty much anybody in the field to win this thing. The challenge of Talladega is getting to the last lap. You've got to be alive on the last lap to win the race. So, I'm probably going to go, Blaney and Logano, the Penske cars, they're obviously the odds-on favorites, and Brad Kay, because those guys, those three they're excellent super speedway drivers. Like, they are phenomenal super speedway drivers. Kyle Busch, plus 1,300. I love Kyle Busch, but I don't like those odds. I want a little bit more bang for my buck. Slick Willie at plus 1,700. I really like that. Denny at plus 1,700. He's excellent at these. Chris Buescher is good at these tracks. Kyle Larson, stay the hell away from him. He is terrible at super speedways. Bubba Wallace at plus 2,100. He is always knocking on the door of winning these at Daytona and Talladega and Atlanta. Like I said, Seabell. Nah, I wouldn't go with Seabell. Michael McDowell at plus 3,000. He's probably going to qualify on the pole too. Like, he's one of those guys that qualifies really well here.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Dillon is a good super speedway driver, plus 4,100. Ryan Preece, who I like, plus 5,500. Gragson finished, I think, third here in the spring. He's plus 5,500. Corey LaJoy, excellent super speedway driver. In a new car, he's in the 51, which ran really well at Daytona and Talladega in the spring and early in the season, plus 5,500. So I'll probably throw $10 on him. I really like him. Kassen Hoseva, rookie, plus 8,500. So you've got some opportunities to make some money at Dega. But again, it is the ultimate crapshoot. Like last year, Ryan Blaney won this race. You know, he was up there in the favorites. I bet on him to win it last year. He won it, but it took him till quite literally the last lap to win it.
Right.
You know, he made a great last lap pass on the backstretch. One of the biggest dick swinging moves I've seen in a long time. And it won him the championship too. That's what punched his ticket to the final round last year. So there's some money to be made here.
Damn.
But again, you're throwing darts. Like you have no idea who's going to come out on top in this thing.
Yeah,
It could be you could have like last year Blaney won it and he won the championship. Years past, but so many times we end up with a guy that wins his first race ever. You know, at Daytona in August, Harrison Burton was plus 9,000 or plus 7,500 to win that race.
Right.
Won it on a last lap pass. You know, last half a lap really, and held off Kyle Busch the whole. You know, who I had bet on to win that race, and I had bet 2.5 units on Kyle Busch to win that race too. So I was pretty upset when he didn't win it, but there's some money to be made at Dega. I'll put my bets up. But the truck race on Saturday and the Xfinity race as well, both super fun. But it's fucking Dega, baby. This is the best, the biggest, the best, the fastest track, and it always produces the best results. Always.
It really does.
It's super fun. Like if you're gonna watch any race from now until the end of the year, watch this one.
Even me, who I don't watch anything NASCAR, I always hear you talk about Talladega. I always, even unintentionally, see clips from Talladega, and I know it's the name, it's like the legacy, it's the history of the event.
The aura.
Yes, the aura of the event, the vibes, as kids say.
Oh,
these days.
Dega has the best tailgating. Like as of right now, there is an absolute rager going on the infield.
Oh, I bet.
They got there yesterday. Maybe not with the weather. I don't know. I don't know how the hurricane affected the track or the surrounding areas.
Where is Dega?
Alabama.
That's probably affected it somewhat.
Northern Alabama. So hopefully everything's good over there and everybody gets to enjoy it the way that they supposed to. And obviously, you know, prayers up for the
holy shit
for the entire South right now.
All the Carolinas,
Georgia. It's just crazy. But no, Dega.
How's PJ and stuff?
They were fine.
They missed all that.
Yeah, they're fine. They're on the East Coast, so they were okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, the West Coast and the Gulf got hit hard.
Yeah, Tampa got smoked. St. Pete got smoked. Like a couple of my favorite areas.
I had no idea, and I was this week years old, that most houses in Florida don't have insurance. I was like, fucking blew me away. I had no idea.
So expensive.
People were like, it's literally $1,000 a month for insurance. And I'm like,
because of hurricanes. And you know how homeowners insurance is. Like you put in a claim for anything and they drop you.
I know.
They're like, yeah, we'll take your claim. Now you're dropped. It's insane. It's one of the biggest problems of that state that they have down there. And again, insurance is a fucking racket. I don't understand it, but whatever. Another day, another discussion for another day. But
they collect all your money, and then you have one claim. They're like, "I would drop on you."
Yeah.
You just collected $80,000 of my money.
Right, and you had to pay out $20,000.
Not even $20,000, like $20.
Yeah,
and,
and you fucking boot me. I know. I'm going through it right now because we had our home insurance company come and do an inspection.
Really?
And they were like nitpicky as fuck this time around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? And they're like, oh yeah. They're like, and somebody we know who works in home insurance was like, oh yeah. They're looking to drop you. Like they don't need your money. They don't want you. They don't want to insure your house because you're a liability. Like the money you're paying them isn't worth it for them. Like they're just so they look for anything to drop you now. It's crazy.
I have
I had an extension cord running across my basement to plug in an appliance.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you can't do that. We'll drop you for that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like it's an extension cord. It's obviously not a permanent fixture. Like I was using that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, get rid of it. So I got to literally take the extension cord, unplug it, take it out of the area that it's in, take a picture of the area it's in, put the extension cord right back where it was, and then tell them, look, I fixed it. And they're like, okay.
Stupid.
I'm like, how fucking dumb is that?
Stupid, stupid, stupid.
You know what I mean? But whatever. It is what it is. I
What
digress.
a waste of time.
But no, I'm looking forward to Dega, man. It's Dega week. I'm gonna do some streaming tomorrow. So I'm gonna get the stream set up tonight, hopefully, to get everything kind of ready to go, and we'll be live on Row One Seat One and Twitch, and and subscribe to our YouTube page because then I can go live on there too.
How many away are we away?
We're only like 7 away. I'm like, at this point, I might just make fucking 5 fucking fake emails and just subscribe to it myself, just because I want to have it. But
Hell yeah.
but no, subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't done so already. Yeah. But let's drop it there. I think that's good. We did the NFL. We got MLB playoffs in there. My Astros lost today. Tough one to Detroit. I don't think they're going to beat Detroit.
Dude, I hate the MLB right now.
I love it.
I hate the 6-team play-in shit now.
I love it because I'm watching the wild card game today between Detroit and Houston.
Yeah.
And even though the Astros lost, it's bases loaded, full count, 2 outs, Altuve's on deck. And I'm like, just get on base, push 1 run in, and Altuve's going to come up and hit a bomb to end this game. And I think it was Hayward just lined it right to the first baseman. I mean, he had a rope. But it just went right at the first baseman, and it just it was a magnet for his glove. It's like, fuck. But it was like, oh, look at this. It's postseason baseball, and we're already in, bottom of the 9th bases loaded situations. I'm like, sick. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I love postseason baseball. It's fucking sweet. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think I'm maybe just a bitter piece of shit because the Red Sox have soured me on baseball together.
I love the fact that Chris Sale left the Red Sox and absolutely fucking murdered it.
Yeah, but he's not playing now. For the Braves.
He had 18 wins.
No, I'm saying right now in the
in the playoffs.
Yeah,
was he hurt again?
Yeah, they said he's hurt.
Yeah, of course he is. But he won the pitching triple crown for the regular season.
I love Chris Sale.
Wins, ERA, and strikeouts.
Of course, I fucking loved Chris Sale. Why pay that man? Fuck him.
Yeah, I mean he's not your best ability is availability, right? According to Mr. One Bill Belichick. So.
Better get rid of him. It's like, dude, we have the cap room. Man, better not take the chance.
Oh, we didn't do we were going to do the WNBA, but nothing really to talk about there anyway. Just Brittany Griner bitching and complaining about fans.
Brittany Griner saying all the new fans are racist.
It's just so funny that the WNBA is so not accustomed to having fans that they don't know how to act. Like, they don't know what to do. They're like, these people are racist. It's like, no, sweetie, that's called heckling. And that's what fans do. I know you're not used to having fans in the stands, but this is what they do. They heckle you. And no, it's not racist. Them telling you suck is not racist.
I can't picture in 2024 at a WNBA game where there's thousands of fans, like not tens of thousands, just thousands of fans.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to hear like there's one man or woman screaming out racial obscenities over and over again. And everyone's like,
right.
Let him do it.
Yeah, let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook. And the players are like, no one's going to stop this man. We're like, we all agree with him. Let the racial hate reign.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's not happening.
Come on, guys. Like, shut the fuck
up.
And
of course, they blame the Caitlyn Clark fans that are all, they're all hurrying up, like, to get to the microphone after the game so they can say, oh, they're all racist. They're all racist fans, and it felt like a MAGA rally in there. I was like, oh, so you mean people showed up? Because that's what you said. Like the WNBA has been the butt of a lot of jokes over the past 25, 30 years. Just let Caitlin Clark, let C Squared do her thing. It's not hard. You just got to let it fly, bro. Embrace it. Embrace the fact that people actually want to come see you. Not you, the girl you're playing, but use that as a tool to better yourself.
Right.
She's raking in millions of dollars worth of revenue for you. Embrace it.
I hate it.
But this fucking group of minority lesbian mean girls just can't stomach the fact that this little white girl from a podunk midwestern town college is just absolutely crushing it.
Like you don't even, like I think you see a lot of burnout from it already because you don't even see that much coverage of it anymore as much as you used to.
No, it kind of died. The season started and everybody was like, "Oh," And then it was like, oh, right. This is still just the WNBA. Right. I forgot we don't actually have to care about this. Right. Okay. What else is on? Oh, there's nothing? Oh, well, that sounds better. So I'll opt for that. But
They suck.
they do. But all right, we'll leave it there, Sean. Until next Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have a full house next Tuesday. Paul should be back. He'll be back in studio on Tuesday.
Maybe.
So we will have Week 5 action. My Broncos will be above 500. We'll be cruising in the right direction.
Didn't I make a joke? Was it last week or the week before? And I was like, when he comes back, he won't have Anthony Richardson. And I'm going to be right.
I mean, we didn't talk much about the Colts, even though they did manage to get that win with Joe fucking Flacco under center.
Dude, Joe Flacco's going to keep the job. You know
He's
what's going to
elite.
happen.
He's elite.
Anthony Richardson, his whole career, every year he gets hurt because he's just reckless.
But the hit he got hurt on was so mundane and so routine. You're
I
just
know.
like,
I think he's a Danny
do
Amendola.
we know what happened to his hip? Like, was it was it a strain? Like, did he tear something?
No,
or?
they said it was like dislocated, and then he like had to repop it back in. I'm like, dude, if you're getting fucking dislocated hips at quarterback at your age, like you got issues.
we got bigger issues here. But I don't know. I mean, we didn't talk much about the shitty parts of the NFL. Like that Tennessee Titans Miami game last night was fucking god awful.
Oh my, honestly,
atrocious.
The Miami Dolphins, and shout out to my Dolphins friends who I feel bad and I like talking to you guys. I was like, this might be as bad as the Patriots offense. And we have nowhere near the talent you guys do.
No. It's bad, dude. It's real bad. I mean, Tyreek Hill's on the sidelines flipping the fuck out, yelling at Mike McDaniel,
and then
like,
Wes Welker has to step in, and I'm like, you fucking leave Wes Welker alone,
Yeah.
you bitch. I'm getting defensive for my boy.
him and Tua have a lot in common, okay? There's both scrambled eggs between their ears. But no, I don't know. We didn't talk much about the shitty teams in the NFL from this week. I mean, obviously you must have been thrilled that Buffalo got absolutely fucking throttled.
No, not really. They played well, and I mean, I know that they got destroyed, but again, it goes back to if you can stop Josh Allen, you win the game.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fair to say.
And
but,
then they did actually the fucking Kendrick Perkins move that I've been saying for years. They were like, after Josh Allen throws the ball, beat the shit out of him. And they hit him so many times after the throw.
well, yeah, they did what the Broncos did to Brady in 2015. Just keep hitting him, keep hitting him, keep hitting him, keep hitting him, keep hitting him.
And it affected him.
It does. Eventually, you wear that callus they build up to those hits. You can break through it at some point. And they did. And I said to my buddy who's a Bills fan, he was like, we were talking about the game on Sunday and leading up to it, and he's just like, I'm like, listen, man, I'm like, all they got to do is just like, just don't keep Lamar in the pocket. Don't let my chocolate stud pony fucking rip off a big long run. And, keep yourself within a score or two. Like, keep it within 7 to 10 points. And I think they'll be all right. And what do they do on the first fucking play from scrimmage for the Ravens? My chocolate stud pony just goes streaking down the field. I'm like,
Was it 90 yards?
it was like, well, there goes that. I was like, the one thing I said don't do. And they were like, you know what we're going to do?
Didn't they
That.
pan to like one Buffalo guy? And he was like this, like almost like the meme. I can't say what it is. The mentally challenged guy. Like,
Yeah. The Fred Kitchens
He's
meme.
like trying to think. He's like, maybe they're intentionally throwing this game, like from the fucking first play.
Dude, it was bad. I was like, oh no. And then it was close. And then the Bills battled back a little bit. And then Josh Allen gets hit on that trick play and fumbles it. And it's just like things just did not go well for the Bills. And I'm not, down on the Bills because of that loss. It's a tough spot to go into Baltimore and win no matter what. But at the same time, you just got to kind of give Baltimore their props because, like we said for the first couple weeks of the season, Baltimore's not this bad. They're not going to stay down. We knew they weren't going to. I think I had picked them to win like 13 or 14 games this year, and
I had them at 11-6 still.
yeah, which is very, very, very much attainable for them. I still think they'll be better than that. But other than that, yeah, it was a rough week. But who do you think first coach fired at the end of the year? Who's it going to be?
Oh, Sirianni. He's like the lead.
You think
candidate.
Sirianni?
Yeah, I say Sirianni.
Sirianni.
Oh no, I think at this week it just becomes what's going to happen. Is he get fired or do the people storm the field?
See,
and
I'm
beat
going
the shit
Doug
out of him?
Peterson.
Oh well, today I didn't know the Jaguars players were like openly talking shit about him.
Yeah, I think it's Doug Peterson. I don't think because the Jaguars have underperformed for the last basically year and a half now, and last full season, like dating back to the last half of last year to now the first quarter of this year. They have just been There's no way. Like, I had Trevor Lawrence as my MVP this year. I thought this was the breakout year, that they were going to put it all together. Everything was going to kind of come together. Trevor Lawrence was going to blossom into the stud starter that we thought he was always supposed to be. And shit is just not fucking working.
I don't understand how bad he still is. It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't, dude. Like, there's no rhyme or reason to it, but, like, Jacksonville has gone from being one of the, like, more talented teams that you're kind of afraid of to
Garbage.
free win.
Yeah, garbage.
You know, oh, it's free win Friday, baby. Let's go. I just don't get it. So,
Also, Brian Dable, the ball. Giants.
no, I feel like he's going to somehow keep his job. Unless Belichick is waiting in the wings to take it, I don't think they fire him.
Dude, there is so much smoke in that Belichick wants to be a Giant.
I know.
How did you feel about Smiley switching gears? Brady accidentally showing how much the Bears offered him on
Oh, and
on
we didn't even
broadcast.
talk about the Brady Baker Mayfield beef.
Oh, that's
I meant
true.
to text you about that yesterday. We can talk about that real quick.
Yeah,
we
can
got
talk
plenty of
about
time.
that. Baker was fucking totally wrong. That was
Absolutely.
stupid of him to say.
Dumb. You know, he's like, oh, a lot of guys were uptight and everything else. And I was like, yeah. I'll take uptight in a Super Bowl over having fun and being fucking eliminated by Detroit in the second round.
Yeah, and Brady's response, while condescending, was like,
Absolutely accurate.
yes, he was like, yeah, my expectation was Super Bowl wins. So if that meant like you were uncomfortable, good.
Yeah.
Like, Tom, perfect response. Don't say anything else. Amazing. Because his thing was, I play for the Super Bowl. We go to the Super Bowl. That's what I care about. So if we weren't winning the Super Bowl, yeah, I'm upset.
Yeah. I'm not here. Like, I loved his response. Like, if I this is an NFL team. Like, there's expectations here. We're not here to have fun. If I wanted to have fun, I would go to Disneyland with my kids.
Yes. Yes.
And I fucking loved that, because it also sends a message to, like, the Baker Mayfields of the world, to think like, hey, listen, man, I get it. Football can be fun. But you know when football is its most fun? When you're winning. And you know what winning takes? Being a professional 7 days a week. If that's not fun to you, maybe you're in the wrong profession.
I love when they ask Belichick the same question. They asked him to comment on like the and Belichick in Belichick fashion's like, I don't fucking care what these guys say. He's like, whatever. But he talked about the fun thing, and he goes, I don't know. I think it's pretty fun when we won all those AFC championships and we won the Super Bowls, and we were in the playoffs every year. He goes, I thought that was pretty fun. He goes, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
I love the
But
backhanded condescension.
It just goes to show you how different some of these guys are built. There's a difference between a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning, and Aaron Rodgers versus a Baker Mayfield, a Geno Smith, and a Cam Newton. And I think even Cam wanted to win, but Cam just could never put it together the way these guys could.
Cam has really grown on me more.
Same.
Because he went on the field of Colorado, like the Colorado football game, and he was just there to do like his own podcast that he does now.
Yeah. Which is really good, by the way.
He was walking by.
Not as good as this one, but
he said, "What's up to Shadua?" And Shadua's like, "Nah, I don't fuck with all that shit." And he's like, "Okay." He's like, "I said what's up? Like, I didn't stop you for an interview." And Shadua Sanders came out and he was like, "Yo, he's a fucking asshole." Blah blah blah. And Cam's like, "Bro, I don't know you. I barely know your dad." He goes, "I don't know what the drama is, but it's not from me." And it was like totally. And it was like, how cocky is Dion's kid? He is like,
I have to wonder too, like, if there was more to that, like, because what did Cam say about him or something, like, you know what I mean?
I don't know.
Because Cam's he's that's
a personality now.
He's a personality. He's a media personality, so he's gonna have takes, and they're gonna talk about stuff, and maybe he talked some shit about Dion's kid, and Dion's kid's like, "Fuck you, bro."
Maybe he said something like focus on the game and stop worrying about like, your rap career. I wouldn't be surprised if he said something like that.
Yeah, and he's probably like, "How about you fucking stop worry about not fumbling a ball in a Super Bowl?"
That would have been a great comeback.
Like, I don't know. Why don't you worry about where Von Miller is? Like, who, by the way, suspended for 4 games
For what?
from the domestic abuse allegations from last year. The NFL finally, I guess, decided to come down on him today.
Well, the rumor is they're gonna hit Rashee Rice with the thing next year. So I was like, dude's gonna be gone all year.
All this
and
year
miss
and
4
next year.
games next year.
Yeah. Unbelievable. But yeah, it's I was bummed. So yeah, things went from bad to worse for the Bills this week.
He barely plays as much anymore.
I know, but he's such a
He's more of just a sideline
he's
captain.
tied with Derek Thomas now all time for sacks. I mean, that's pretty fucking lofty accomplishment. I love Von Miller. I'll always be a big Von fan. Obviously, you got the doll behind you. It's my boy. It's my dog.
Who do you think left? And I know we gotta go. Who do you think left of the remaining quarterbacks is that like old generation mentality.
Hmm.
Like I think Mahomes is. Mahomes seems like if he's not in the playoffs, like he's pissed off. Like that.
We've yet to see him not in the playoffs. So but yeah.
But I think that's his mentality. Like it's the playoffs or nothing. Like if I don't make the playoffs, like we're instantly shit. Like
Yep.
I feel like he's that person. I can't really think of anybody else who is. Just
I mean,
like,
obviously A-Rod, but he is
Not
from
really.
that. But he is from that generation. So
when the Jets didn't make the playoffs last year, and like he was like, maybe I'll come back.
well,
and
he
maybe I
wasn't
won't.
playing though. When
Yeah,
he's
but
playing, the
he
expectations are
threatened
different.
He came back.
The expectations are different when he's on the field
I
for
don't-
sure.
I don't think they're making the playoffs this year anyway.
The Jets, yeah, I think they are. The way the AFC's bound. I mean, Miami's cooked.
That is
The
true.
Patriots are cooked.
Dude, who's gonna win? That game's gonna be the most
The
boring game of all
AFC,
time.
the AFC South. I mean, yeah, like Houston's okay, but other than that division is cooked.
Jesus Christ, you're right.
I mean, Jacksonville, Indy, and Tennessee are all fucking garbage. You know, Houston's the only. You got one good team. You got the Bills, the Texans,
You might see 3 teams.
the Chiefs, and what like and then and Baltimore. Like there's your division winners. So there's still 3 spots left.
You might have all the playoffs come out of the North again with Bengals, Steelers, Ravens.
I think the Bengals could be in for a rough go here.
I think they needed that get right game. So I know they're 1-3 right now, but I think
They did get the get right game.
they have a rhythm on offense. The offense looked good on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think there's a kind of like all right, guys, we were dog shit for the first 3 weeks. Like we got to get it together.
Yeah, you avoid the 0-4 start, which is a death kiss. So, 0-3, not great. 0-4, you're dead.
0-4, the chance of you making the playoffs was like.
I mean, the only team to ever start 0-3 and make the playoffs was the Texans in 19, right? That was what we said last week.
Yes, and that was like a crazy thing that like no one ever did that before.
Right, that was Deshaun Watson's Texans, and they
Yes.
just went ape shit,
Deshaun Watson, they are praying this man starts raping people.
bro.
They're like, please rape somebody.
Like a lot of the stuff that happened to him on Sunday too. While it wasn't necessarily his fault, he did nothing
To help his case.
to help his case.
No.
And that's why I made that post that I did. I was like, who's more ass, the Browns in general or Deshaun Watson? Like, it's the chicken or the egg. Like, what came first?
When you have fans that have pre-made signs saying put Jameis Winston in, it's very bad.
It's a bad hit, dude.
The signs are made before the game saying play Jameis Winston.
Please bench this man that you paid $230 million.
$300 million almost.
Yeah.
Like the end of it.
Please bench him. Like, I mean, I know the Broncos, like, paying Russell Wilson $80 million to get the fuck out was a slap in the face.
At least your guy wasn't a confirmed rapist.
Allegedly. We don't have confirmed anything.
Listen, I know. Did he do it to 30 people? No. But
Maybe he did. I mean, I don't know. I'm not putting anything past anybody. And I'm certainly not going to sit here and defend Deshaun Watson.
And
but
I love how after all this happens, he's like, I'm going to just go try one more time. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the
all
fuck?
right, I know I got caught all those times, but, like, what's the chances they're going to look again? It's like, ugh, you just don't get it, do
The
you?
only question he asks is like, are you undercover? And the woman's like, undercover what? He's like, that's all I needed to know.
All I needed to hear,
And
baby
she's
girl.
like, I didn't answer.
So anyway, how much for a masseuse?
I'm a shoosh.
A masseuse?
He doesn't know how to say the word.
Are you giving masseuse?
Oh, man. That would totally be Deshaun.
It would. And it would let the Browns off the hook in a big way. But, man, the Browns are fucking awful. Like, offensively, defensively. Like, they're
Amari Cooper wants out. I'm like, that is hilarious to me.
if you're listen, guys wanting out of Cleveland is nothing new. Guys that went to Cleveland and signed or got traded there in an effort to rebuild it, now this is new grounds.
Yes.
Now we're charting new territory.
What about the age-old discussion is of Amari Cooper's worth at least 2 first-round picks, and how great that has aged over time.
Oh my God, dude! Listen, if Devontae Adams is getting moved for a second, how Amari
Maybe.
Cooper got moved for a fucking first is still beyond
He's
me.
worth 2 first. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, 2 firsts. Yeah. Yeah, the Cowboys really miss Amari Cooper. You know.
That was a deal because they were asking for 2 firsts and they were gonna get it, but he wanted to go to Dallas, so they took 1 first. I'm like, I just think Jerry Jones is crazy, and he said, "How long is this man penis? Is it 8.5? He's on team."
He owned the team. I was here for the glory hole days. I'm gonna be here for the glory hole days again.
Like I don't know. I know Kraft is up there with like
My eyes aren't too far apart.
perverted shit. Jerry Jones. says some
Kraft was
crazy
getting
shit.
a little rub and tug, bro. Like that's nothing fucking. Like I got friends that do that. Like
No, but Kraft is like he talks weird now. And I know
He's
it's
old.
I know it's age, but sometimes it bothers me. He's in the locker room. He's like, I trusted Gerard, and I'm like, can you fucking sit down?
dude, I'll tell you what. Like you don't realize it, but like people get old, and then all of a sudden one day you're like, oh shit, they're old.
Cliff.
The quiff. It's like, I mean, I saw it with like with my grandfather. Like he was sharp as a tack, until just one day you just realized he was repeating like the same story, but like just like in a different like kind of like a different scenario, if you will. Like it was
Yeah.
the same, and you're like, oh right, he's 94, right, that makes sense. And you're like, yep, okay, but he was still like pretty with it. Enough to make you think like he was with it for a while, and then you dug a little deeper and you peeled that onion back a little bit, and you're like, right.
Like Kraft coming out.
Father Time is undefeated.
Like Kraft coming out and unintentionally saying he was planning on firing Belichick after 2019. I was like, you are an asshole, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I picked Gerard as the head coach after the end of the 2019 season. So essentially, when Brady said he was leaving and Brady announced he was leaving, you said, I'm firing Bill Belichick. And you've been sitting on that for 3 additional seasons.
Almost 4 years, yeah. I don't think that's accurate.
Who knows?
Maybe that's a couple. That might be a couple Bloody Marys mixed in with some meds that didn't.
I don't
didn't
think
sit
it's any
right.
Bloody Marys. I think it's just multiple medications in the morning.
Could be that too. Could be just a bad cocktail of pills, bro. But old people, that's the thing with getting old. Is like all of a sudden one day you're just old and you don't realize it, but everybody around you's like, ooh, shit, he's old.
He's saying some crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's why we all know Jonathan's running the team. Like it's.
Oh my God, yeah.
We all know it. We all
It's
knew
like,
it.
you look at the statements for your parents if you have made like a trustee or something on their account, and you look at that stuff and you're like, did you really spend $800 on gift cards? It's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'm saving money.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? You just like I unfortunately have to deal with stuff like that all the time. I have to print out stuff for people for their folks, and they'll come back and they're like, can you verify these charges? And I have to give it to them, and they're like, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't see the charges on air. But some of the charges are very embarrassing,
Yeah.
and it's like, it's legit. And they're like, how do you know? And I was like, this is his entire debit card number, and it says use this PIN. So I was like, he verified the shit out of it. So he can't claim it was online fraud. It was
Yeah.
like he was there in person.
He was there in person, punching in the numbers. It's like, ooh. It's a rough hit, man.
It was a lot of money, too.
You can't hide from it,
It was a lot of money for a place in Fairhaven.
Ah, I already know what you're going at. One of my favorite places ever. But
Yeah,
all right,
good
let's
times.
leave it there. We'll be back next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide, Joey Fats Radio, Row 1, Seat 1. For Mr. Betancourt and Plizzy, who couldn't be here tonight but should be back with us on Tuesday. I am your host, Joey Fats, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and this page and everything else. And we will see you all next week. Peace.
Later, guys.